A big piece of the A's starting rotation is rookie Jharel Cotton. The young right-hander has showed signs that he belongs in the major leagues, but there have been a few bumps in the road this season. Cotton is coming off a fine start in Boston, and consistency is what Jharel and the Athletics are looking for. Tonight, Cotton gets the start in Detroit, and he'll look to finish his season strong. Cotton and the A's take on the Tigers, and it starts right now. Well, the final stop on this three-city trip is Comerica Park in downtown Detroit. As it's a three-game series, that's Buck Farmer. He is going to start for the Detroit Tigers. Some concern, though, as far as who's starting with the Athletics. Jharel Cotton scheduled to start, but he threw for a little while, flipped the ball away, heads back into the dugout. And, Ray, I do not believe he's going to start tonight in the first game of this series. So it's the A's and the Tigers coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity.
You're brilliant. You are brilliant.
Ray Fozzie, Glenn Kuiper, welcome to Oakland A's baseball. So kind of a late development here with Raul Alcantara now warming up in the bullpen. So it looks like he's going to make the start. Cotton is not. We don't know what's wrong with Cotton, but when we find out, we will let everybody know.
And that's too bad because Jharel Cotton looking for a couple of more wins to get to double figures, but it is Alcantara. He made a start way back at the beginning of the season in Texas, was very, very bad, went to the minor leagues. Jesse Hahn took over in the rotation. He pitched well. Alcantara pitched well at the minor league level, so he gets the start tonight. A whole bunch of guys in the bullpen, so it may turn out to be a bullpen game, but unfortunate, it's not going to be Jharel Cotton.
So Alcantara will face the rebuilding Detroit Tigers. I don't think I've ever said that, but that is the case here. They're 25 games under 500, and they've spent a lot of money, a lot of great players. They just could never get that World Series win, and so they've traded guys, and they're out without Victor Martinez.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because Mr. Ilitch, the late owner, passed away, and he'd been spending a lot of money trying to get a World Championship in Detroit. Never happened, so Verlander's gone, J.D. Martinez, Upton is gone, Avila, Wilson. I mean, it's a whole bunch of players going. The one guy who's not gone is still here. He's DH, and I had some back problems, but as far as the Tigers, they are much younger than what we've seen in the past.
All right, so first of three, the A's and the Tigers coming up from Comerica Park. Keep it right here on NBC Sports California. We will head back to the A's pregame live studios right after these messages, so stick around.
Sports California is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new $4.99 Smoky Jack Burger Combo with small fries and a small drink. Limited time only.
So that is Buck Farmer. He is the starting pitcher tonight for the Detroit Tigers. First of 3 at Comerica Park between the A's and the Tigers. You see ground is wet in the dugout, and it's been kind of a, hasn't rained real hard, but it's just been kind of a wet day all around in the Detroit area. But the tarp came off the field about an hour ago, and all in all a pretty nice night. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open this weekend. 66 degrees. It's fairly humid, not much of a breeze, and again, neither team took batting practice because the tarp was on the field. So we're set for baseball. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Oakland A's, brought to you by Southwest Airlines, and here it is. Marcus Semien at short, Matt Joyce in right, Jed Lowry at second. Chris Davis is back, sitting on 39 home runs. He'll be in left field. Then it's Olson, Healy, Pinder, Chapman, and Maxwell.
And the right-hander, Buck Farmer, on the mound for the Tigers to start this game. And for Farmer, his first start against the Athletics. He did make one appearance against them out of the bullpen, but he is a starting pitcher now, started against the Tribe, and for him, he's making just his 9th start of the season.
So Semien steps in, and we are set. Buck Farmer's first pitch is a little bit low, so we're underway from Detroit.
Not really a lot of assortment from this right-hander. A couple of different fastballs, slider and a changeup, but otherwise he just tries to throw consistent strikes.
And there is a strike, 1-1 the count. Marcus Semien at 248.
He's back in the leadoff spot with Matt Joyce. Skipper said that when Chris Davis did return, happy to have him back, that they go back to their lineup of having Semien lead off with Joyce hitting second, and that's the way they are approaching this game against the Tigers.
So Matt Joyce to follow, 2-1 the count to Marcus Semien. That one bounced up the middle into center field, and that's a base hit. So Marcus Semien leads off the ball game with the base hit. So the defense for the Tigers, that's Mikey Matuk, Jacoby Jones, Nick Castellanos. That's your outfield. Candelario, Iglesias, Kinsler, Navarro is your infield, and McCann is the catcher. So a whole bunch of different
Who are those guys
for the Tigers. Boy, that is the truth. Wow.
I was looking back in May, about May 5, 6, and 7 of the lineup of the Tigers. Considerably different than what we're seeing tonight. But no, you alluded to it initially that Miguel Cabrera is in the lineup, unless he's been scratched like a starting pitcher. But he has a little bit of that back issue. But I thought his manager, Brad Osma, said it best in the local paper, at least in an article. He said, hey, these guys are paid to play 162 to the end of the season. It's not like he's going to take the rest of the season off, so it's good to see him in the lineup tonight. One of the best hitters in the game.
1-0 pitch to Joyce is outside, 2-0. Umpires tonight, that's Chris Conroy calling balls and strikes. Ryan Blackney is at first. Jerry Meals is the crew chief. He's at second. Ron Culpa down at third. So 2-0 the count to Matt Joyce, hitting .239, 24 home runs, 65 RBIs. Shallow left center. Iglesias, the shortstop, is backing up, and then Matuk calls him off and makes the catch for out number 1.
Iglesias did exactly what infielders are supposed to do. Go for the ball till you call it off, and he just said, okay, you got it. You called for it. You better get it. And he did. This ball in the air. Iglesias, shortstop, he is a very good shortstop, but watch him just shut it down right there. And that means Matuk said, I got it. He does, and runs right between he and Jones. Easier for an outfielder. I always say that, and we'll always believe it. Tonight, overcast, so there's no sun problem, shadow, although this start here starts to get darker earlier in the Midwest, east part of the country.
First pitch to Lowry is a breaking ball from Farmer. Drops in there for a strike. 276 for Lowry, 13 home runs, 56 RBIs. He was 2 for 7 over the weekend in Philadelphia. Quick throw. Semien jumps back. A's are 66 and 83. So game number 150 tonight. They're 24 and 50 on the road and trying to have a good road trip. They're 3 and 3 so far.
I win 2 out of 3 on this series. In this series against the Tigers, that would be very, very good for the club. Head back to Coliseum starting Friday night with a winning road trip. That would be a great way to finish at least the month of September. Brad Ausmus, their manager. Gene Lamont, former manager, his bench coach. But for Brad Ausmus, a former catcher, 3-time Gold Glove winner as the catcher. That's why he is calling those signs for the catcher to throw over, pitch out, step off, etc. Did you get that sign? That was throw over. I didn't get that one.
Write it down.
Somebody could be watching. You just never know.
So 0-2 the count to Lowry with Chris Davis waiting in the on-deck circle. Just underway from Detroit. Very close play.
Semien may be surprised back-to-back throw overs that he did not go to the slide. He just stood up with the catch in the back part of the bag.
Well, 2 pitches, a fastball, and it misses. A's won 2 out of 3 from the Tigers way back in early May.
Yeah.
That was the series where the A's had back-to-back walk-off wins against Francisco Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So that was an exciting series.
The Saturday game started with a 2-out walk to Bruce Maxwell. Went to third on a double by Matt Joyce and Adam Rosales on the first pitch because Frankie Rod just did not like to throw the curveball with the runner at third. He didn't, and Rosie hit a 2-run single. Ryan hit it with a 2-run home run the next day on the Sunday. Back-to-back lone saves.
That's Raul Alcantara. He's going to start tonight. If you're just joining us, Jarrell Cotton was warming up in the bullpen 20 minutes ago, and he just stopped warming up. So Alcantara is going to make the start. We do not know what is wrong with Jarrell Cotton, but when we hear, if we do hear, we will pass it on. Well, the blister thing has been an issue for him a couple times this year. We don't know if that's the case tonight. It could be.
But been pitching successfully after returning from the disabled list. Had some rehab starts and also some starts at the major league level, pitching well. So it must have been something else and had not heard about anything that was happening.
So the count remains 2-2 to Lowry.
But if there's ever a time not to panic if somebody can't make a start, it's September.
That's true.
Because there are so many players and pitchers. Bob Melvin went to Alcantara. It could be a bullpen game because Alcantara has pitched out of the bullpen since returning from AAA. Did make the start that was back in Texas on that opening night game in Arlington. But he was blown out early. Pitched well at the minor league level. It's another start tonight. That is a fastball away as Can moves outside.
And it is outside. 3-2. So full count with Semien at first. See if Marcus takes off. Got a decent lead, and he does run, and the ball is line foul left side. And he's hit 7 home runs over the weekend in Philadelphia. They made a small ballpark look even smaller. A little bit different here. This is considered more of a pitcher's park, not as much as it used to be, but a pitcher's park nonetheless.
Center field still a poke.
Yeah. Oof.
Moved the fences in left field. Took the bullpens out of right field, put them in left field when they shortened the distance from home plate to the outfield.
Semien runs again, and another foul ball. So good battle here between Buck, Farmer, and Lowry. The 10th pitch of the at-bat coming up.
Well, the outfield and infield really playing Jed Lowry straight up, and they stay outside. Pretty good chance Jed will try to hit the ball towards the left center field gap, as he is the doubles machine. That is your straight up defense. That is fun to see.
There goes Semien, and the ball is hit toward left center field, and it is going to be dived. Not a catch by Jones. Semien is being waved home. Here comes Iglesias' throw to the plate. It is late. It's a double for Lowry, and it's a 1-0 lead for the A's. Jacoby Jones made a dive for it. Could not quite come up with it.
Another double for Jed Lowry as he continues to do exactly that. You pitch him one way, you say one way, he'll take you that way. He tried to go to the breaking ball after so many fastballs. Pretty good pitch. But he sent it to left center field, and with Marcus Semien on the move, ball slicing away from Jones in center, and nice diving stop, but the ball did stop. It didn't go to the outfield where Matuk was backing up, and there's your relay, and there's your first run of the game for the Athletics.
So here's Chris Davis, who swings and misses. So 46 doubles now for Jed Lowry.
Well, he finally takes off, and this time gets to second base so he can continue to run and end up scoring thanks to the ball stopping in front or right at the feet of Jones, the center fielder.
And there is a line drive, base hit left field. Matuk picks it up. Lowry trots to third, and the A's have first and third, one out. Kind of a soft line drive off the end of the bat. Davis will take it.
There's 47 is the Oakland record in Oakland history. 2001 for Jason Giambi. Jed Lowry with 46 tonight, 45 and 13. And I would say, since the A's have 12 games to go after tonight, pretty good chance that they could get into the 50. You know, one of the things about Farmer, he has had struggles here at home. 1-2 with 11.30 ERA, 14 and a third innings. So a lot of struggles for this young man, and see if Matt Olson continue his great hitting. He's impressing a lot of people around baseball, he being Matt Olson. And there it is, and that's it's like Ed Whitson on the pitch for the Yankees. That name keeps coming up. The Yankees need to take advantage as they continue to do well.
1-0 pitch to Olson. Good swing. So 1-1 the count. Here's our true story, brought to you by McDonald's. The Matt Olson weekend in Philadelphia. 3 home runs in 3 days at Citizens Bank Park against the Phillies. It was fun to watch. A couple of long ones, a line drive home run. And now 21 home runs and 40 RBIs on the season for Matt Olson. 1-2 now. So trying to hit a home run in 4 consecutive games in A's history. Dan Johnson has done it. Manny Jimenez did it way back in 1962, and George Alasuk 5 straight in 1962. Alusik.
That would have been the Kansas City.
I'll get it right.
Kansas City. Fool me. Say whatever you want.
So Olson swings and misses. Farmer gets a big strikeout. So 2 away here in the first with a run in.
Now Matt Olson just trying to hit a fly ball to get the runner in from third base. Instead, he got nothing but fastballs. This one a 94 in the inside part of the plate. That's the top end of the fastball for Buck Farmer.
Pitch cast brought to you by Penn Fed Credit Union. So runner still at the corners for Ryan Healy.
A's mild mannered first baseman showing a little bit of frustration there. He's got a little snap in him too, you know, which is good to see. You know, I like to see Ryan Healy doing that on occasion. And
well, Matt Olson comes across as being pretty mellow, laid back. I don't know that that's necessarily the case.
I think we just saw it. So after hit the second deck home run in Philadelphia Friday and then popped up the next at bat, he was shaking his head and upset with himself.
0-1 the count to Healy. 25 home runs, 75 RBIs for Ryan Healy. 271 batting average, very solid season. Healy's got 26 doubles. Goes after the high fastball and skies it into the seats behind the A's dugout. Here's a good look at our view. Looking out over downtown Detroit here at Comerica Park, a very beautiful ballpark. Wide open out in the outfield. Big giant scoreboard is in left field. Comerica Park. They got some good statues out there too.
Yes, they do.
Ty Cobb spikes up high.
Spikes up high and no number. Now Kaline, who will be here, we'll see him in this series. One of the nicest gentlemen in the game.
Davis takes off, and Davis is going to get to second base on the wild pitch. So 27 pitches for Farmer here in the first inning.
Now for Ryan Healy, he can get a base hit. Breaking ball, nice block to keep the runner from third from scoring, but McCann knows, then Chris Davis knew. Ball hit the ground, more concerned about the runner at third, and KD able to get in easily to second.
So a couple of runners out there for Healy to try and knock in. 2-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. So Buck Farmer, it's a couple of big strikeouts, and the A's get the one run. They do it on 3 hits. So a half an inning in the books. 1-0 A's. Tigers in the bottom of the first. Their lineup is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Kinsler, Candelario, Cabrera's back in there. He's got a little bit of a sore back. Castellanos having a big season. Navarro, McCann, Matuk, Jones, and Iglesias. That's your Tigers starting lineup.
Well, it is not Jarrell Cotton. We just found out his injury that we'll tell you about, but it's Raul Alcantara in his second start, his first. Not something to write home about. That was against the Texas Rangers, but went down to the minor leagues. So that inflated ERA as a result of that one start in which he gave up a whole bunch of runs. But tonight starting in place of Jarrell Cotton and tried to give the A's some innings. If not, got a full bullpen to be able to help out.
So Ian Kinsler steps in. Kinsler takes a first pitch strike from Alcantara, Alcantara made 3 starts in the minor leagues, 15 relief appearances for AAA Nashville. So we'll see how far he can go. The 0-2 pitch is bounced just foul. So the injury to Jarrell Cotton, a right groin strain. So it was not the blister issue, it was a groin strain. So he's warming up in the outfield. And you see him. And that's it. That was it. He went to talk to Scott Emerson, and Alcantara went out there, started to warm up. We saw that and knew at that point that something was not quite right.
You know, the problem with that, if it's a leg injury, he may not start again.
Nope.
I just don't think. And it's kind of sad because he's won his last 3 decisions, and the way he's pitching could have gotten to double figures. Yes, must have just happened. Something happened because I saw him walking in. He's talking to a couple of friends as he is living in this area. But all indications were at that time he's going through the scouting reports and he's going to pitch. So something happened, I guess, on the way to the bullpen or while he was throwing.
Another 0-2 pitch. Down and away to Kinsler. Kinsler hitting .234 with 18 home runs and 44 runs batted in. Sharp slider just a little bit outside. Not a bad pitch by Alcantara. Candelario to follow, Jamer Candelario, and then Miguel Cabrera here in the bottom of the first. There's a liner, but it's foul down the third baseline. Not a real big crowd tonight. Defensively, the A's line up like this tonight. Davis, Pinder, and Joyce. That's right. Chad Pinder is in center field tonight. Interesting. Keep an eye on that. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, Olson are on the infield with Maxwell doing the catching. So Bob Melvin says, let's see Chad Pinder out in center field. Good pitch. Outside corner. Strike 3 call. So 1 out here in the bottom of the first. Good pitch by Alcantara.
Jarrell Cotton, again, this is what happened, and when he grabbed the right groin area, and at that point, it's that's the bullpen. Flip the ball and said, "See you later." Got his stretch band or the rubber bands, it's water. That's it. So Bob Melvin, he can handle it. Just tell Alcantara to go as far as he can, as hard as he can, and got plenty of guys in the bullpen. You know, Captain, sometimes that this is the best way for a pitcher to say, hey, get the ball, go.
Yeah, you don't have to think about it.
You don't think about it. You come to the park, do all your work, and of course the pitcher stretch and work out early. And pretty evident that Alcantara didn't know it until Cotton had gone out to the bullpen area to start throwing. Matter of fact, he might have been in the clubhouse having dinner. He said, hey, get dressed. You're starting tonight. Oh, really? What happened?
Chris Davis into foul territory and not quite. Well, a groin injury, I mean, if you've ever had them, they are painful.
Oh, absolutely. It's the worst.
Even to the point where if you're sitting down just trying to lift up your leg, I mean, they can hang with you for a long time, especially if you, baseball and sports in general, it's the quick movements. And
Pat, my first year in pro ball, I was playing AA in Reading, Pennsylvania. Went to back up first, didn't stretch, didn't know, nobody told me anything. I hurt my groin. It was the best thing that ever happened because I never, ever at that point went out the plate without stretching. Because, you know, it's such an important part. And just like you said, it was a quick move where I took off.
Yep, that's it.
And got it.
Yep.
Got your groin and it was done. But, you know, you learn something. And, of course, coming out of high school, nobody said, stretch? What's that?
What is that?
But I learned, and, you know, but it happens. It does take time. And that's why, unfortunately, for Jarrell Cotton, it might be that he would never, I mean, he only had 2 weeks from yesterday. The season's over. So it's not like it's got a miraculously. We hope it does. It'd be nice if he could make a couple more starts.
Swing and a miss by Jeimer Candelario. So back-to-back strikeouts to open up the ball game for Raul Alcantara.
You know, the one thing too, Kai, but just a continuation on that, you see the slider coming from Alcantara, and a good slider, backed up a little bit. But let's hope that maybe they found it early enough, or he detected it to the point that he did not continue, shut it down, and maybe he will be able to get well and make a start soon.
So 2 away. Here's Miguel Cabrera.
He's not going to be bothered by a lower back injury, which talking in the press room about the WBC World Baseball Classic. It's supposedly where Cabrera came up with some back stiffness that's been bothering him all season. Not that that contributed to it.
He skies this one to right field. Matt Joyce waits. And a good first inning for Raul Alcantara. 3 up, 3 down. Second inning coming up from Detroit. 1-0 the A's lead.
Every device, watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to AT DET Premium, #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Oh, it's got it right now. Bet he's on the app right now. Listen to Ken Corrick and Vince Catroni.
He better be.
He's got the earphones on. That's exactly what he's doing.
Pinder, Chapman, and Maxwell here in the second inning. Chad Pinder making his first start in center field tonight. He's been out there a couple times, but this is the first start for him.
Remember, a couple of weeks ago, someone asked about him playing in center, and he said he's got enough on his plate playing right field and the outfield. Nice play by Castellanos. But Pinder has been all over second, short, right, left, center. I mean, at least center and right. Left field too. Hey, got them all.
But right field has been his most common spot. It'll be interesting to see what the A's decide to do with Pinder. Do they lock him into one spot next year, or do they continue playing him in multiple positions? It's sort of a win-win situation, really.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Because he's going to be there. He's going to get at bats, and he's a strong young man. I mean, 15 home runs at a part-time play for him as well this year. Dustin Fowler, I think, maybe have a lot to say about that. Boog Powell, of course, banged his knee in Philadelphia. Who knows? He said he got the X-ray, everything's fine. He's waiting maybe go back home for an MRI, but he's limping around. Banged in his knee, his left knee, quite hard.
Hit to Candelario. Throws across the diamond. Chapman is retired. 2 outs here in the second inning.
But from David Forst's standpoint, I know that A's general manager, Billy Beane, of course, VP of baseball operations, they wanted a true center fielder to trade for Sonny Gray, and they got in Fowler. And he said he is a true center fielder. He's going to be ready to start his workout program. He's on the trip with the ball club, but not able to get involved in baseball activities. But that's going to come up soon and be ready to go in the spring.
Two 2-0 to Maxwell. Bruce hitting .234. 3 home runs, 21 runs batted in. Right to Kinsler, who scoops it up, flips to first, and Buck Farmer has a 3-up, 3-down inning. Bottom of the second coming up. A's with a 1-0 lead. Single day with insider Scott Bair on NBCSportsCalifornia.com. Sunday to Sunday, the home of the authentic Raiders fan is NBC Sports California. Raiders off to 2-0 start. Beat the Jets yesterday at the Coliseum. Play the Washington Redskins on Sunday. Marshawn Lynch dancing up a storm on the sidelines yesterday, causing all kinds of controversy. Oh, the Jets didn't like that. Oh.
So that was called a sideline celebration, not an end zone celebration?
Yes, yeah.
So it's no there's no penalty for
everybody else thought it was okay except the Jets. Castellanos leading it off, followed by Navarro and McCann. Castellanos, not a lot of good stories for the Tigers this year, but Castellanos is one of them. He's having a very fine season.
Well, to move from third base to go to right field. Been out there a couple of weeks.
Castellanos 23 home runs and 92 RBIs. He's got 32 doubles and 10 triples. Not this time though, as Chapman throws him out. But it is amazing to see the Tigers now. You think about the Tigers at the beginning of the year, and you think about the middle of their lineup.
Yeah.
You're talking about J.D. Martinez, Justin Upton, Castellanos, Cabrera, Victor Martinez. I don't know that
Kinsler leading off.
how many teams have 5 guys like that right in a row.
I can't think of it.
No,
you're right.
That's pretty good.
Alex Avila had come back, who was catching well.
Yeah.
There's Al Avila, who traded his own son. So get out of
it's
here.
rebuilding when they do that.
That's right. His name is Al Avila. His son is Alex Avila. Only because Avila was much harder to pronounce. So he said, just call me Avila then.
That's fair.
It's like Bobby Avila with the Cleveland Indians, but Alex Avila with the Cubs now. Cubs, and he and Wilson went to the Cubs, didn't they?
Just part of
yeah.
some of the big trades that the Tigers made. Yeah, it was Justin Wilson and Alex Avila, and they got Candelario, the young man who's playing third base tonight. J.D. Martinez was traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks for 3 minor leaguers. Martinez has been terrific for Arizona.
4 home runs in 1 game.
He's got 40 home runs on the year, 24 with the Diamondbacks.
That's amazing. Well, you always said that park was a launching pad, right? Yeah, to go from this park to that park, that had to be a real blessing for him. Probably hid behind Paul Goldschmidt. Goldie.
That's a base hit by Efren Navarro. So first hit off Alcantara, and it's a single. And that'll bring up James McCann, the catcher.
So the Mr. Eye patch on the right sleeve of the Tigers. Mr. Ilitch, the longtime owner of the Tigers. Watch him pull his hands in. That's a nice job as the fastball was in. Not coming back, but kind of running in. At 97 with good movement and found the hole on the right side, so be able to pull the hands in that quickly with 2 strikes. Pretty impressive. That's the Mr. I. Michael Ilitch, longtime owner. Of course, the Red Wings, the hockey, but never got a championship with the Tigers. And like the late Gene Autry, tried forever, spending money trying to get teams to win. It never did happen in baseball.
Driven to right, but Joyce is there, and Joyce makes the catch. Well, the Tigers got close recently. They won 4 consecutive division titles, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. They went to the World Series in 2012 and lost. So 4 straight division titles. Then in 2015, they had a bad year, 74 and 87. Last year, they won 86 games. Did not make the postseason. And during that time period, they spent a lot of money. So they got close. They just could never get that World Series win. It's been 32 years since their last one. Of course, that was 1984.
Wire to wire. 35-5 to start the season under the late Sparky Anderson. Kirk Gibson, the big home run off Goose Gossage. After 2006 season, when the A's finally won the division series, swept the Twins, but lost in 4 straight to the Tigers with a walk-off right here. But that series, they had so much time in between. They were trying everything to try to stay sharp, and it just didn't work out. Ended up losing that series.
Mikey Matuk. 2-0 pitch. That one's driven toward right field. Joyce gets back. Warning track, makes the catch. Side retired hit and runner left. We're through 2 in Detroit. A's with a 1-0 lead.
time on the air is that I can say that the A's Insider Podcast is back. It's on NBCSportsCalifornia.com, and it's brought to you by Max Muscle. You can log on each week as Insider Joe Stiglitz talks baseball with players, coaches, special guests. That's you and more. You're not more, you're the special guest. It's available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. You're the man.
Yeah.
The latest is you.
You know what?
Kuiper.
There's nothing in that podcast that you don't know about me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I can't wait to
You
hear
know
it, though.
everything about me, right? You know that.
Yeah, but listen, this is a highlight of my game. To be able to read this, to say that my partner is on with Joe Stiglitz. I mean, that's a special day. That and coconut cream pie.
Yeah, I think that's a little more important, as it should be.
No. Listen, not every day you get on with Joe Stiglitz on the podcast.
Super Joe.
Can't wait. Congratulations. That's outstanding. And it's ongoing. It's probably going to last all winter, right? Huh? I mean, it's probably that good.
I guess it could be.
Yeah. I mean, just take it right into spring training. And hello, everybody.
If you're listening to that podcast in 2018, then I'm going to be a little worried about you.
No.
Not you in general.
But that's how good it is, you know, and people will want, they'll archive that, right? I mean, that's something to be archived forever. Oh.
Ouch. Wow. Simeon is hit.
I heard up here.
So the A's get a base runner the hard way.
Well, let's just try to throw a fastball down the middle of the plate, and boy, did it get away. Got him
right
on the
on
left
the elbow.
Yeah. Oh, they're going to check Farmer too. Something happened with him. Maybe that's what caused the release point to be so bad. But
nobody's feeling good right now.
no.
So he's going to see how he feels after throwing a couple pitches. So I think he's going to be okay. So he's going to stay in the game, and he'll face Matt Joyce.
Well, Marcus Simeon had the surgery on his right hand, and of course he doesn't wear any padding. One of the most critical parts of a hitter's really body, the hands, because they're wrapped around the bat. And I know some of the Rockies players, remember the late Don Baylor, developed a pad that you put on the back of your hand. So, and I think Jeff Bagwell wore it as well, because when you have your hand and it comes in and you get in the back of the hand, there's so many small bones anyway.
And I think maybe Bagwell, he got hit there a couple times, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't blame him.
But I think they built it right into his batting glove.
Right. And when Don Baylor was playing and he managed the Rockies, he had some players who were hit the same way, and remember they had it there.
There's a line drive. That's a base hit to right field. Simeon is going to try for third, and he's going to make it. So first and third, and nobody out here in the third inning. Now on Wednesday, Buck Farmer, the pitcher, and James McCann, the catcher, were involved in what was a fairly significant controversy. This pitch right here, they thought it was a strike. And the home plate umpire threw out McCann and threw out Brad Ausmus. So, and then a new catcher came in, and the pitch hit the umpire in the shoulder. Now, watch. I don't know if we have him. When he went down, I saw a piece of video where you could read his lips, and he said, did they do that on purpose? And there was a major controversy. A lot of people thought that the Tigers did that on purpose the catcher missed the ball on purpose. And Brad Ausmus did not like that, obviously. He said that's absolutely not true. That's not what happened.
And I agree with Brad Ausmus, because just watching Farmer trying to throw the fastball down the middle of the plate to Marcus Semien and it hit him. That means that ball moved a good 8 to 12 inches from the middle of the plate inside. And for the catcher to go after it, just coming into the game anyway, I think it was, I don't know. Well, the problem was it was so coincidental right after those two ejections that people would assume that or think that that's what happened. But, man, you watch Farmer tonight trying to throw the ball down the middle and see how much movement there is on all of his pitches.
Driven toward left center. Jacoby Jones is over there. He's got it. It should be deep enough to get Marcus Semien home, and it is. So an RBI for Lowry, and the A's lead 2-0 on a sacrifice fly.
And Jed Lowry can thank Marcus Semien going from first to third, because that sac fly, of course, getting to third base, it enabled him with this fly ball deep enough to score Marcus Semien from third. And one of the things we were talking in Boston, how the Red Sox are different without David Ortiz in the lineup, is their aggressive base running. That's a perfect example. Base hit to right field. Marcus Semien thinking as soon as he took off, I'm going to get to third. He did, and that gets the A's a run. Versus stopping at second, that would have been a fly ball, one out. Instead, the A's have a runner in. And that's what, sure, you're going to hit a lot of home runs, but Cap, there's an example of scoring a run without the home run, but doing it the right way. Aggressively on the base paths, and then getting a sac fly to get him in.
Chris Davis had a base hit in the first inning. Chris Davis is back, missed the last 4 games. He's on paternity leave. So he meets the team here in Detroit, steps into the box in the first inning and gets a base hit.
Oh. Ball hit him. It was a foul ball, came up, and then looked like Chris Davis got hit with the foul ball as it hit the ground and came back. Watch this strange thing. See, let's hope it didn't hit it. Oh, hit the bat.
Yeah, hit his bat a couple times.
Yeah. On the foul tee, he was looking back to see if McCann, the umpire, got hit.
One pitch, swing and a miss as Farmer. Like a changeup and a good one. So 1-2 the count. Another run in for the A's. They lead 2-0. Chris Davis checked his swing, did not go.
I don't know if it's so much the check swing that Buck Farmer's upset with, or the fact that he thought it was on the corner. And there's a check swing also that probably went through far enough that could have been called a strike.
Davis rolls one right toward the A's dugout. So the count even at 2-2 to Davis. 39 home runs, 102 RBIs. 4th in the league in RBIs. 2nd in the league in home runs. Chris Davis chasing Aaron Judge. Judge has started to heat up again after had a pretty lengthy slump, but Judge has homered again. He's got 44 now.
Well, Mark McGwire has the 49 rookie record, so at one time it looked like Judge might not even get close to it, but who knows what could happen the last couple of weeks. And plus
Chris Davis swings and misses. Excuse me, right?
Now they're right in the middle of a pennant race.
So 2 outs.
Well, there's another good slider. Threw a couple last inning, one to Ryan Haley with a couple of strikes, 2-2 on him.
So here's Matt Olson. The 2 wild card teams in the American League are playing tonight. The Twins are in New York. So that's a 3-game series, and Judge's home run, the only run of the game. It's 1-0 Yankees in the bottom of the 3rd. So the Yankees and the Twins would square off.
And
if the season ended today in that 1-game wild card game. Angels are 2 back. Mariners are 4.5. So the Angels still have a shot. But probably not the case with the Mariners. The Mariners 4.5 back with 12 to play, and they were just swept by the Houston Astros. So don't know that there's enough time for the Mariners. The Angels, there is. Olsen hits one very high, right center field. Castellanos is back, and it is gone. He has done it again. Number 22 for Matt Olson, and it's starting to feel like he hits one every day.
It's about what he's done. That's 4 in a row, as he becomes one of just 4 now to do what he has just accomplished. And you know, he hit it to the deepest part. The ball in the area where he hit it near the out-of-town scoreboard, it kind of juts out. But yet they try to go up. They make a mistake, and he capitalizes once again on a fastball. Wow, what a swing. Almost hydroplaned on his feet as he swung. But look at the way the stands right there. You see Castellanos going, and it just kept traveling, and it was gone. Wow.
Ray, he's got 22 home runs in 54 games.
He's making this game look quite easy.
Yeah, he sure is. Throw is a little wide, and they call him safe. Looks like Navarro put the tag on him, but maybe Healy beat the throw. Let's see.
It's going to be an E5, but good hustle by Ryan Healy. As if he does come up and tag him, had the ball in plenty of time. Well, the way he went after him again indicated that he missed him the first time.
So the Tigers are not going to check it. Yeah, it looked like Navarro had a good opportunity to tag him, but then maybe he missed him.
Yeah, the first one right here, he missed. Watch him go after him again. Right there, he's trying to catch him. So that part would indicate that he had missed him initially, which he had the ball in plenty of time. Great maneuvering by Ryan Healy. That was a pretty good dance step.
Yeah, I don't know how he missed him. First pitch to Chad Pinder is just a little bit low. So Matt Olson now, and I could keep reading these numbers, he's got 11 home runs in his last 15 games. Yeah. And you know, Ray, when we just saw Rhys Hoskins with the Phillies, and you know, for the last month and a half, from a national standpoint, we've heard a lot about Rhys Hoskins for good reason, all the home runs he's hitting. But the pace that Matt Olson is on right now is equal to or even better than. That one's hit to right center. That's hit a ton, and nobody's going to get that one. Healy rounds third. He's coming in to score. Pinder with a booming RBI double, and it's 5-0 A's.
Well, the young man is strong, and he continues to show that. Chad Pinder, and again hitting the ball to the opposite field. Just unbelievable power. Fastball generates so much. Nobody can really understand how he generates so much power, but he does it, and does it so well. So Ryan Healy running all the way. He read it all the way perfectly as it's 2 outs, and just hustled to get on base. And then Chad Pinder brings him home.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Provident Credit Union Super Reward Checking. We pay you.
So the A's with 5 runs already. It's just the top of the 3rd inning. So 5-0. Chad Pinder with an RBI double, his 41st RBI of the year. And Buck Farmer's knocked out. 2 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned, no walks, 3 strikeouts. So to the bullpen, and we could see a lot of action from both bullpens.
What's
tonight.
this guy's name?
Artie Lewicki. Maybe my new favorite baseball name, Artie Lewicki.
That's a good one. Artie Lewicki.
1 start, 1 relief appearance. This is his 2nd time out of the bullpen for Lewicki.
4 pitches. Fastball at low 90s. Curve slider changeup. So the repertoire for a starter. Coming out of the bullpen. Trying to get some innings for Brad Ausmus.
Good overhand curve, first strike. Facing Matt Chapman, who grounded to 3rd back in the 2nd inning. Lewicki, a starting pitcher in the minor leagues, AA and AAA this year, and had a very, very good season. That one is driven toward right center field. Jacoby Jones on the move, and Jacoby Jones reaches up and makes the catch. So Chapman robbed of what very well may have been a triple. But the A's do damage. They score 4 times. Another home run for Matt Olson. 22 on the year. 5-0 A's. One in the first and 4 in the second. 2-run homer by Matt Olson. He's homered in each of the last 8 series for the A's, and he's homered in 4 consecutive games. So he really has become quite a story.
Yes.
People are missing out if they're not paying attention.
Well, the great Jim Price just next to us stuck out his hands, imitating his batting stance. And how does he do that? Well, watch him every day, Jimmy. You get a chance to see him.
This is Jacoby Jones to lead it off. Jones just ended the top of the 3rd with a very, very fine running catch. Iglesias to follow, and then Kinsler. Pretty well hit to left field. Davis is back, and then it's Pinder who calls off Davis, and Chad Pinder, like he's been playing out there forever, takes charge.
And he had a long run. That's over in left center, and Chris Davis going to get under. Maybe it looked like he's going to have to jump, but all of a sudden Chad Pinder calls him off.
And you know what, Ray? That may not seem like a big deal, right? It wasn't a routine play, but still, it's a ball that's going to be caught. But the fact that he took charge.
Yes, and how far he was straight away center field, and really taking charge. See the guys in the bullpen cheering as they could see the young man taking charge. And you know, we've always talked about center field. That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
You have to be the one to take charge. And we've seen too many in the past that would come up and they defer and say, no, you can't do it. But remember what Josh Reddick said to Billy Burns: you call me, you're the center fielder, but you better catch it, because he'll be there.
But if Pinder's never started a game out there, and I mean, you watch for
Exactly.
really the small basic things. He got a good jump, ran straight to the spot, called off the outfielder.
I tell you, we have seen his arm strength from the right field side.
Got a terrific arm.
Wow. He's got the complete package, and you know, you could see in the screen as the ball was hit by Jones, he was straightaway center, just right like he is right now, just slightly a couple of steps from a straightaway center. Got the great jump, got to the ball, and enough time to call off Chris Davis.
What did Bob Melvin say about Chad Pinder earlier this year? He's an intriguing bat. Well, now he's becoming an intriguing outfielder. Watch the jump.
Yeah, see he's at the top of your screen. You can see where he's positioned, and watch where he goes. As soon as the ball is hit, he takes off.
That's a good route.
It's a great route. And then to get there, and Chris Davis just say, yeah, take it, and it's exactly what is supposed to happen.
Now, granted, it's the ball that's kind of right at you. I mean, that's the one that's always hardest for an outfielder, but you have that opportunity.
This is a tough place to play just because it's so deep to straightaway center. You know, it's almost like being like Coors Field. You see the outfield area, and still he's relatively shallow compared to the center field wall.
Simeon throws out Iglesias. It was funny, right? As we said that, Chad Pinder turned around, looked at the wall, and walked back 2 steps.
It's 420. That's probably the deepest straightaway center yet. Miguel Cabrera has been known to go over the batter's eye up where it says Chevrolet. Made in America.
It would be a hard outfield to gauge where you're at if you're in center field because of the 420.
Well, it's unfortunate, a very memorable and unfortunate drop of a fly ball by Cabrera. When Coco was playing center, came in and just assumed I was putting down fly ball 8th. And then all of a sudden it drops and a couple runs scored in the postseason game. But it was one of those Ray Guy hang time type fly balls. It's like the football analogy. New fence is there, as you can see the distance from the edge of the fence and the bullpens in the back. The back wall used to be where the field played. That's how far it was.
That's amazing.
Like another 30 feet.
This ballpark opened in 2000. In the first 4 years, 2000 to 2003, that was the size of left field.
That's right.
That is something.
Well, the foul part, the flagpole in left center at Tiger Stadium, it was 440 to straightaway center. And the flagpole was in play. I mean, it was in the middle of the field with padding on the bottom of it. And when this opened, it probably was in play also. You see where it's positioned now. That was in play. It's the fence in the outfield, and still say one of the greatest rejections of a contract of Juan Gonzalez turning down 160 because of those fences being too far, harder to hit home runs. Biggest no sign of the Tigers probably in the history of the franchise.
2-2 to Kinsler. Yeah, it turned down a lot of money.
Yes, he did, just because of those fences. And he
But
played.
I mean, you could see a hitter, a right-handed power hitter. You could see him saying, "You know what? Forget it."
That's right. And
can't
now,
do that, man.
And now if the home runs hit in that direction, you start looking, would it have been a home run before? Probably not.
Pinder hustling in. Pinder's got it. Side retired. So nice job so far by Raul Alcantara. He's allowed just 1 hit through 3 innings. The Oakland A's in your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. That's the spirit of Detroit.
Wow. Strong man.
He is. 5-0. The A's lead, top of the 4th inning. Downtown Detroit. Bruce Maxwell to lead it off. Simeon to foul, and then Joyce. And downtown Detroit's come a long way in the last 8 to 10 years. Better than it used to be.
A lot better. Still not as good as the Lindell AC and, you know, over Tiger Stadium. It's closed, Jeff? No, really? Cheeseburger was so good you could slide back to the hotel.
Nice.
There's so much grease.
1-2 to Maxwell. Hits one high and foul. Tiger Stadium, no more.
Oh, that's too bad.
There it is. That's it. Look at the flagpole, Ray. You just talked about the flagpole.
It's still there. Still there.
That is the actual infield and outfield from Tiger Stadium. That's pretty cool if you think about it.
Oh, let's talk about some history. There's some history.
Good history there. Yep.
Nate Ernie Harwell tried desperately to get enough funds to keep it as it was, but didn't happen.
Tough to do.
Yeah.
Because I guess the question then becomes, well, if you keep it the way it was, what do you do with it?
Exactly. Yeah, it was old.
Candelaria is not going to get it. Mytuk really didn't take charge, which he probably should have, and the ball ends up falling, and Maxwell says thank you very much.
Right.
It looked like Candelaria was in some trouble anyways.
Yeah, he's going the wrong direction, then got turned around and said please help, and there's nobody there to help. But you're right, Mytuk, that's one we saw earlier when Mytuk came in and he just started trying it, and maybe Candelaria, the third baseman, gave an indication he was going to catch it, but I agree with you. He was lost as soon as the ball took off. Take the hit.
That's a hit, yep. So here's Marcus Simeon. Simeon has singled and been hit by a pitch, and he has scored 2 runs. Facing Artie Lewicki.
You like that name, don't you?
I do. I'm going to keep saying it.
Just Artie alone is a good name.
Artie Lewicki.
It's almost like you'd have a sitcom back in the 60s or 70s. The Artie Lewicki Show.
Serious. So 1-1 the count. But we just came from Boston, where, of course, Fenway Park, terrific. Oldest park in all of baseball. But you played in these other parks. So when you walk around Fenway Park, it has to bring back memories of these old parks, like Tiger Stadium. You played a lot in Tiger Stadium. Playoff games in Tiger Stadium.
Well, the problem with Tiger Stadium, where you warmed up pitchers.
Another hit for Simeon.
And Al Kaline, one of the greatest, of course, Hall of Famer, nice gentleman, right fielder, number 6, straight out of high school, batting champion, number 6.
Look at the seats at Tiger Stadium. Look at that. That looks like a World Series game to me.
That's right, St. Louis Cardinals, probably 1968. Kurt Flood in center field.
You could probably see that flagpole out there.
That's right. 440, and that's when Big Mac, Mark McGwire, he came up. There's Al Kaline and his great statue in center field. But Mark McGwire came up in '87, his rookie season, and he hit a ball in straightaway center field, 440 feet away, second decade, Tiger Stadium.
And that's a base hit center field. Here comes Bruce Maxwell. He'll be held at third, so the A's have the bases loaded and nobody out. So check out the career of Al Kaline. 22 seasons, all with the Tigers, an All-Star 18 times, batting title in 55 when he was a very young player. 399 career home runs and over 3,000 hits. He's usually 2 doors over, or 3 doors over.
He's over there behind the curtain, I'm sure. Jim Price, his good friend, said he was playing golf and he stepped in a hole and fractured his knee. But he is still coming out to the yard anyway. It's Kaline's corner. But how about this guy? Go play in the American Airlines Astrojet golf tournament. Arrived in Puerto Rico. And at the airport, Louise and Al Kaline say, hey, you want to ride to the hotel? Oh, yeah, okay.
He knew who you were.
No, yeah, right. But that was a thrill that I always enjoy. There he is, right as we speak, Al Kaline. Yeah, he's checking his knee, playing golf, stepped in a hole. He's here every game. Special assistant to the general manager. President to Mr. I at one time. Nicest gentleman in the world. Number 6. Not so happy right now, though. Watching a team that's trying to rebuild. They had a championship team in 1968. They defeated the Cardinals. Do you know who made a start there against the Tribe? Mark the Bird Fidrich.
Yep, Bird.
Tiger Stadium. The late Mark Fidrich against the late Pat Dobbs. And he's out on the mound, patting the dirt, talking baseball. Dauber said, "Oh, I got no chance."
It worked. Worked for a couple of years.
Oh, should have had an attendance clause because they packed them. Tigers packed them when the Bird pitched.
So the count now 3-0 to Jed Lowry, who already has a couple of RBIs, and he's got a chance to have a huge game. Maxwell at third, Simeon at second, Joyce at first.
But he's been swinging 3-0. Will he do it now?
3-0 pitch is high. He walked him, and Lowry's got his third RBI in the game. It's now 6-0, the A's lead. Yeah, that's not good, folks. 5.27 ERA, highest in all of baseball. And that's the problem. Tigers have still scored a fair amount of runs this year.
Do you know how hard it is to be a fan that's seeing all the success and the players you talked about earlier?
Yeah.
And then come to the park and you don't see Upton, you don't see Victor Martinez, who's out, and J.D. Martinez. You'd see him hitting 4 home runs in a game. No longer with your Tigers. And pretty much kind of the white flag saying, that's it.
Well, I looked at the starters' ERAs for the Tigers and was shocked. You just saw Buck Farmer. His was over 6. Jordan Zimmerman, very good pitcher,
yeah.
right? 6.18.
He was a big free agent signing.
Matt Boyd, who just almost threw a no-hitter yesterday, but even still over 5. Anibal Sanchez, who the A's will see on Wednesday, over 7. So Victor Alcantara, not to be confused with Raul Alcantara.
He said it's his friend. He said no relation, no, just a friend. Spelled the same, pronounced differently.
Grounded to second. Tigers turn the double play. Run comes in to score that Simeon to make it 7-0, and now there are 2 outs. So Simeon has scored 3 runs tonight.
Good hands by Kinsler at second. Watch Iglesias do the 360. Spin, get out of the way, make the throw to first, and He's got a little flair to him at shortstop. Iglesias does. Kinsler, of course, the veteran at second from the Rangers, and Iglesias.
So 2 more runs for the A's, and here's Olson. Curveball is outside. Olson homered in the 3rd. Check this note out. Most home runs in the first 65 career games in Athletics history. Matt Olson and Mark McGwire the same amount, 22.
It's amazing, Cap. We saw him when he struck out in the 1st inning with a runner at 3rd and showed his displeasure in the dugout. Then he comes up the next time and he does this. Almost lost his balance. He swung and got so much behind it.
Fastball is high. So 2-1 the count.
I know one gentleman that's got to be extremely pleased. Keith Littman, the director of player development for the Athletics, said he has been talking about Matt Olson for a couple of years. He said, wait till you see this young man. Well, we're getting a chance to see him, and I think baseball is getting a chance to see him as well. So, Keith, you're spot on when talking about Matt Olson. Keith, very instrumental in developing the players throughout the minor league system of the Athletics to get them here to the big leagues. He's got to be proud of some of the young players on the team right now, that homegrown players.
And there's the walk. So 2nd walk in the inning. Olson was called back up on August 11th. Remember, he had been up and down with the A's 3-4 times, but called up for good on August 11th. And that's in the major leagues, folks. So he and Hoskins have the most home runs in all of baseball since August 11th.
He's got 11 in September. And it's just the 18th. A multi-home run game. 2nd, of course, he had it in his debut when he hit his first major league home run in Chicago.
Well, this inning all started with just a pop-up that should have been caught. It wasn't. It went as a base hit. Missed again. Now it's 2-0. Milwaukee having all kinds of trouble here in the 4th inning, even though the inning did start with that missed pop-up. So 1 in the 1st, 4 in the 3rd, 2 more here in the 4th for the A's.
Problem for Milwaukee, the only error on the board occurred last inning.
Jacoby Jones is there, and he's got it side retired. 2 more runs for the A's. They get 3 more hits, a couple of walks. 7-0 A's lead.
part of the A's new innovative program focused on increased benefits, flexibility, and discounts. The program rewards tenure and includes exciting discounts on concessions, eliminates ticket exchange limitations, and provides exclusive new experiences and events for members. Renew or purchase new season ticket memberships now at athletics.com/2018. Well, tell you what, if this August, September, any indication of what fans have to look forward to in the future, get those season tickets, because Kuip, I was thinking, ideally, you'd like to go down the end of the season hoping for a championship team. But, you know, if you don't, it's not just going through the motions. You've got a good bunch of young players that you can look forward to seeing develop into future stars and future winners. And that's exactly what the A's are doing now. So, sure, you want to win. Like to do it every season, but it's almost impossible to see that unless you spend $200 million a year. But it's nice to develop, and A's are doing a good job of it.
Jeimer Candelario to lead things off. He's a switch hitter. I mentioned earlier, Candelario coming over from the Cubs in the trade that sent Alex Avila and Justin Wilson, the left-handed reliever, to Chicago. So the Tigers seeing what they got in Jeimer Candelario. There's Verlander to the Astros. Don't forget about Justin Upton to the Angels. Two big trades that were actually made in August. I think the Verlander trade to Houston, I mean, it was kind of dramatic and went right down to the end. But the Verlander to the Astros rumor has been out there for about 3 months.
Right.
The Upton thing kind of came out of nowhere.
That's right. Yeah, Upton and Phillips.
Matt Joyce will get there to make the catch. So one away here in the fourth. Should not forget about the job that Raul Alcantara was doing, Ray, on short notice.
And you know, I'm thinking also, Kuip, here is Jarrell Cotton, and unfortunately couldn't make the start. He's looking for win number 9, and he scored 7 runs.
Of course. He's got 51 pitches so far.
He's done a great job, and again, sometimes in a 5-man rotation, you know that what your schedule is going to be, and pitchers enjoy the schedule of working the 4 days and then starting and then start it all over again. But as a reliever, you come out not expecting to pitch unless there's a blowout. In the case of Alcantara, he's not the back end of the bullpen guy, but all of a sudden, hey, grab a ball, you're pitching, and done a tremendous job. 1 hit, 3 1/3.
Thing is with him, because he is the starter, he's got to get to 5 innings to get the win, as opposed to a reliever who could come in and he could throw 1 inning or even less than that sometimes. That one's hit hard right to Simeon. On to first, 2 away. So the only hit so far in the game for the Tigers was Navarro's 1-out single in the 2nd inning. Alcantara has not walked anybody. He has struck out 2.
You know, thinking of
Nicholas Castellanos.
Is Cabrera running back to dugout. You think of the players, the team that you mentioned. You know, you look at the middle part of the lineup and you start thinking how close you come to winning a world championship. And now Cabrera is thinking, I want to be on a team that's starting all over.
Yep. What's going to happen?
Yeah. And he's going to be the star. And the problem for him, and I think you said it best earlier, that he all of a sudden now becomes a guy you don't have to pitch to.
Oh, not at all.
Yeah. And so,
why would you?
Yeah. Why take a chance? I mean, in this case, there's nobody on, and you got a lead. But you get a situation where he, with 1 swing of the bat, can hurt you. Say, forget it. You know, why are you pitching to him? So he's going to have to change his whole plan, and plus his contract is so big, it's going to be hard to move him anyway. So he's going to be here, but it's got to be a tough time for him. They anticipate Kinsler is going to be traded in the offseason as a possibility. He is one guy, and you look at any veterans, Castellanos could be, but you're a veteran on a ball club that is developing and building for the future. You have to think as a veteran player, are you part of the future?
And you don't know how, how emotionally tied are the Tigers to Miguel Cabrera. Obviously, he's the guy, right? For good reason. But would they trade him? Castellanos has a base hit. Castellanos is trying for two. The throw is late, and he makes sure he dives back to get his hand back on the bag. So Castellanos, even down 7-0, hustling for a double. A little bit of a risky play.
Well, the tag a little bit off balance as he went after him, but when he went after him there, instead of going back, see the momentum's carried towards first base, tried, but if he had been able to hold the tag, the hand came off the bag, but because Jed's momentum's going towards first, he reached back, and there's the hand. He had to go back for it, but he couldn't get to it quickly enough. But you're right, gutsy call, especially right there with a hand off, but Jed just could not keep his tag on it.
So 33rd double by Castellanos.
The way you get
it's really not a very good slide.
Yeah, and the only way you get a double like that is if you think about it after you hit the ball. But yeah, you're right.
His legs were not out straight, and he slid right over top the bag. Simon Castro starting to throw with 60 pitches now for Raul Alcantara. There's a strike. Efrain Navarro had that base hit in the second inning to right field. Missed somewhere. Don't know where. Looked like a pretty good pitch. That's strike.
That is as great a location as you can have on a pitch.
Another close pitch called the ball. 3-1. So Navarro sitting on a 3-1 pitch from Raul Alcantara. Here it is. And he got him to chase a pitch that had been called a ball. So it's 3-2.
I remember his previous at bat, he pulled his hands in on a 2-2 fastball at 97, got a base hit to right field. You'd have to think going to stay away again, maybe because of that pitch that happened.
Payoff pitch, here it is. And that one is hit down the left field line, but it'll be foul. Alcantara trying to get through the fourth inning. Fouled. Just got a piece of it. 97 miles an hour from Raul Alcantara.
It's amazing how a hitter takes a couple of close pitches, called balls, yet he starts to swing at the same pitches.
I think Maxwell may have got hit on that one. I don't know if it got him in the hand or the glove. Castellanos, the runner at second, and here's the 3-2 pitch again. Missed outside, went with an off-speed pitch.
I think the pitch count has just gotten Alcantara as this ball, the follow through. Now got him on the hand as he caught the ball, maybe the thumb.
So that'll do it. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Sports California is brought to you by Cal Football. The Bears take on USC September 23rd. Tickets at calbears.com.
So the A's leading 7-0, bottom of the fourth inning from Comerica Park here in Detroit. Final stop on this three-city trip. They're enjoying some pizza.
Wow.
Looks pretty darn good. I bet we know what kind it is. Around here, it's usually the same kind. Simone Castro comes in for his 22nd appearance. So Castro's thinking, Ray.
Vulture time. It's vulture.
There's a W sitting out there, and I could get it.
Of course, about another 8 guys in the bullpen are thinking the same thing. You said it best. Alcantara reliever now, but he had to go 5 to qualify, and he didn't do it. Pitch count got to him. Did a great job, though.
First pitch to James McCann is foul back. Did a good job. 3 2/3. Just 2 hits, 67 pitches, and again, very short notice. If you're just joining us, Jarrell Cotton was scheduled to start, but Cotton, well, warming up, the right groin strain. And the A's sent Contra out to the bullpen and said, "You're starting, get ready." And that was 15 minutes before the game started. So no time to look at the scouting report, just go get them.
Which is sometimes the best thing to do. Catcher puts the sign down, you go with it. Kendall Graveman was talking about the Sunday or Saturday game that started. He said Bruce Maxwell had just caught the shutout the night before with Daniel Mingden, and perfect guy to have behind the plate. Just go with him, and that's what guys in the bullpen should do anyway.
High fastball. McCann fouls it straight back. Count remains 0-2. McCann hit a ball well to right field, but lined out to Matt Joyce. It's a breaking ball that just stayed in off the plate. McCann went after it and broke his back. Usually when a guy breaks his bat on a breaking ball. It hits it off the end of the bat. It looked like that one was off the trademark.
Yeah, it came back in. It looked like it backed up a little bit, stayed on the inside part of the plate.
So another 0-2 to McCann. Pinder backs up. Waits. He's got it side retired. Couple of runners left. We're headed to the 5th. The A's leading the Tigers 7-0.
And what a great afternoon, evening has been for Raul Alcantara, who just casually getting ready to go in and have a nice little meal in the clubhouse. And oh, by the way, grab a ball, you're starting. Terrell Cotton with a groin injury, but 3 2/3 innings for Alcantara. A couple of hits, no runs, a walk, and very good job for the A's emergency starter.
Pinder hits the first pitch he sees here in the 5th inning on the ground to Kinsler, who throws him out. So 1 away. Here's Matt Chapman. Ground out and a deep fly ball to right center field that Jacoby Jones, the center fielder, made a very nice play on. So it looks like, Ray, tomorrow the home run record is going to be set. Most home runs in a season in Major League Baseball history.
With 2 weeks to go.
With 2 weeks to go. The old record, again, this is just total home runs hit in a season throughout all of Major League Baseball. The old record, 5,693. That was set in 2000. Coming into today's action, 5,663 home runs have been hit. So 30 home runs behind the all-time record. Now that's the way balls are sailing out of the ball.
3 or 4 at a time, huh?
So they figure, with kind of a short schedule around Major League Baseball today, Chapman takes the walk, that it'll probably be broken tomorrow. That's a lot of home runs.
Pitchers just love that stat, don't they? It's been part of it.
They do. But what makes it so interesting is, as that record is being set, Major League Baseball is also closing in on, for the 10th consecutive season, setting the strikeout record.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
So every year in the last 10 years, they've set the record, and they will do it again this year.
And nobody cares.
And nobody cares.
Just as long as the home runs come, and Yeah, nobody cares about the strikeouts. Hey, it's only 1 out. Let's just strike him out, throw him out.
But I was reading about the strikeout thing today, which is really pretty interesting. There's a strike, 1-1 the count. When it's all said and done, there will be over 40,000 strikeouts this year.
What? 40,000? Jeez.
Can't make that up, Ray. You know that.
40,000?
In 2007, which is 10 years ago, there was 32,000 strikeouts. So in a 10-year span, there will be 8,000 more strikeouts this year than there was 10 years ago.
Averaged 800 more per year.
Is that amazing?
Wow.
So pitchers like that stat. Left field hit pretty well. Right talk going back. He's at the wall and he makes the catch. Chapman was around second, so he made sure he touched the bag as he was heading back to first base. He had to retouch second base. But Maxwell put a pretty good charge into that one.
Yeah, he had his first major league home run went to left center field in Seattle. And this one to left field, and you know the heavy air, the rain, maybe the cooler weather has knocked a couple of balls down. This one though at the warning track right in front of the wall, caught.
Maxwell thought maybe he had one going the other way.
Yeah, the way he just threw his helmet, I'd say that's right.
First pitch to Marcus Semien catches the outside corner. Good ball game for Semien. 2 singles, hit by a pitch. He has scored 3 runs. High fastball, and it's 0-2. Just missed.
It's not going to call it, is it? There's Conway, the home plate umpire.
Down the right field line. Long run for Castellanos, and it's going to drop into the seats. Castellanos, well, he's always been a third baseman there. Tigers are seeing if he can play in the outfield.
Nice ball clearly in the stand, so you can't really object to the fan going for the ball. It's actually slicing away from the fan. Castellanos, I don't know. I don't think he would have caught it.
I don't know if Nicholas was going to catch that.
Yeah.
Breaking ball stays high to even the count at 2-2. Inside corner, strike 3 call. Semien can't believe it. So a runner left. We're headed to the bottom of the 5th inning. It'll be Mytuk, Jones, and Iglesias. 7-0 A's. Tigers, but they had a special day yesterday. Well, almost. Young left-hander Matthew Boyd was dealing, and I mean dealing.
Till that.
2 outs, top of the 9th inning, a no-hitter, and Tim Anderson got him for the double. This was the final out, so he came within 1 out of a no-hitter. Matthew Boyd threw 121 pitches. Boyd came over in the trade with the Blue Jays for David Price a couple years ago. So quite an afternoon for Matthew Boyd. Could not quite finish it.
Well, they talked about Castellanos playing. He said he was playing shallow to take away a base hit in front. You can see the ball hit the warning track. And Jim Price, who was here yesterday calling the game, he said there's nobody who's going to catch it anyway.
I don't think so either.
No. And you saw the pitches leading up to Anderson getting the base hit, and Anderson said, he's pitching me away. I'm going to go that way. And, you know, give him credit for doing it because Boyd stayed out there, got the hit. But sadly, the last one, I think the last one-hitter was Armando Galarraga with the play at first base, the near perfect game.
2 outs.
Yeah, 2 outs with a perfect game on the line. And if they would have had challenges and reviews, Galarraga would have had a perfect game.
See what, 2010.
And where is he? Where is he? I mean, ever since, like, kind of disappeared.
Well, took fouls it straight back. Well, and unfortunately for the Tigers, there was a little bit of controversy with that as well.
Exactly.
Because
after
the game, we're talking about yesterday's near no-hitter. After the game, one of the reporters asked Brad Ausmus, did you think about or should you have put a defensive replacement in right field? And Brad Ausmus not happy.
Yeah.
And I heard Ausmus' response, and he said a whole bunch of times, that's a stupid question. And I could see his point. I could see the reporter's point. But my thing was, it was the first question the reporter asked.
Yeah, exactly.
And that the guy just threw a one-hit shutout.
Well, it's a 12-0 lead. You're kind of trying to see if the guy can play right field, and you're going to take him out for defense with a 12-0 lead.
I'm with you.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a. I don't think it was a ridiculous question. I just don't think it needed to be the first one. But Brad Ausmus not happy.
Well, he wasn't happy in Cleveland either when he got ejected in the incident that we showed earlier.
But the point is it was not going to be caught.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know who could have been in there.
Yeah,
the ball. I mean, it clearly showed that it hit the warning track in the air, and you would have to be playing no doubles, which you're not going to be doing with 2 outs in the 9th inning and a 12-0
No,
lead.
you may be playing in a little bit because you don't want a blooper to fall.
But that's what he said. Castellanos said, I'm going to play shallow because I don't want a ball to drop in front of me for a base hit to run the no-hitter, which is playing smart. That's the way he should play anyway. And give Anderson credit. He felt he was going to be pitched away. He said, I'm going to go to right field. He did, and got the base hit.
That one tapped Chapman. Tough play. His throw is not quite in time. That took runs pretty well, and it's going to be a hit. So Chapman made a nice play. Did everything he could. Made a good throw.
Well, playing deep with a couple of strikes, and anybody else without that speed, he gets him. Got him by step anyway. But that's as good a play as you could make on it. Omar Vizquel, if he had that kind of an arm when he played throughout his career, he might have won double the Gold Gloves that he won. Omar just got it there just in time.
So here's Jacoby Jones. First pitch, foul tip. Jones hit a fly ball to center field in the 3rd. Jacoby Jones rips one, headed for the left field corner. Matuk is going to be waved home as he hits the bag at 3rd, and throw comes in, but it's cut off by Chapman, and it's an RBI double. And the Tigers get their first run on Jacoby Jones. The big hit.
A high fastball, good fastball. Location not exactly where Simon Castro wanted it, and the movement. This is right down the middle. And a fastball, and that's the difference of throwing 97 straight versus maybe 90 with some good action and good movement. Daniel Gossett talking to him before the game in the A's warm-up about exact same thing. I'd rather hit the corners and get outs that way instead of trying to throw 95, 98, which he said I can't do anyway, and throwing it down the middle.
So here's Iglesias. A runner goes, and Jones will steal it without a throw.
It's not good when you're a catcher. You see the guy take off, and you know you don't have a chance.
Jones hurt his hand. He's holding his hand or his fingers. Sees the risk you take when you slide head first.
Oh, and
you can see he jammed it pretty good.
Yeah. Check the left hand as he kept it all the way to the ground. Watch the fingers of the left hand. They don't go up. They go straight into the bag. And you can see exactly why he's acting the way he is. Normally, and that's why we've seen some of the challenges where the fingers go up, so your palm hits the bag instead of your fingers, because that bag is not going to move.
That is not going to move.
Nope, and it's going to be hard. It's Dave Clark 5.
There's Dave Clark 5. Now Jones says he's okay. He's going to stay in the game.
Get one of those barbecue mittens to put on.
Yep. I would say sliding head first, it has its positives, but it's more dangerous than sliding feet first. Fingers are very exposed.
And as we say, Kipe, if a infielder knows going to slide head first, you could put your foot down, you could put your knees down, whatever you want to do to prevent the runner from getting there on a close throw. Of course, no throw by Maxwell on that one.
Chapman grabs it, hustles to the bag, but Jones is able to get back. So that's out number one. So as the season of turmoil, we're showing you some of the things that have happened for the Tigers. Remember this? This was a major brawl, folks, and I mean major. In fact, it's as far as baseball brawls go, it's as good as we've seen in quite a while, and some things got a little ugly. Miguel Cabrera was suspended for 7 games.
Yeah, because that was
it was in August.
That was I think he boxes in the offseason, doesn't he? Because it looked like he did some boxing.
Yep.
And you had the Romine brothers in the fight, Yankees and Tigers.
That's right.
And Sonny Gray. And really the guy who probably came out the worst was Victor Martinez, because he was talking, I think, to Sanchez. And that's when the guys in the dugout said, what are you doing? You know, he's throwing sucker punches and you're talking to him. Nobody's
going to get this one. It one-hops the wall in left center field. Jones comes in to score. Kinsler with an RBI double, and now it's 7-2. So the Tigers, for the first time tonight, making some noise.
Bob Melvin going to the bullpen, and as we expected, it's a bullpen game, and he's got a whole bunch down there. But this is the problem with Castro. He throws hard, 94, but down the middle. That's 2-0 fastball, and you throw it to Ian Kinsler, that's the damage he can do.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Fireworks of the year, Saturday, September the 23rd. That's for Star Wars Fireworks Night. Come as your favorite Star Wars character and enjoy the game versus the Rangers. Log on to athletics.com/fireworks for details. Man, that's going to be an exciting night. Star Wars Fireworks, the Coliseum. Now that music alone, it gets you pumped up.
Right around the corner. Final homestand of the year starts Friday night. 3 against the Rangers, 3 against the Mariners. So Liam Hendriks comes in, tries to slow things down here in the bottom of the 5th, a single and a couple of doubles. So the Tigers trying to make a game of it. 3-2, 4.55 ERA for Liam Hendriks, his 66th appearance.
Well, the A's need to get some shutdown because it is going to be a bullpen game, and somebody needs to come in. Actually, you're going to start seeing, in this case, Liam Hendriks, and you may start to see the back end of the bullpen come in because Bob Melvin with the lead wants to win this game. Worry about tomorrow. And right now, just trying to get out of this inning, shut and stop the bleeding.
Jamer Candelario, who's 0 for 2. Candelario is a switch hitter. And Miguel Cabrera waits in the on-deck circle. So this is a pretty good opportunity for the Tigers if they want to get back in this game. One pitch is just a touch low. Candelario in the minor leagues this year, 15 home runs, 71 RBIs. 110 games. So decent numbers. Hendriks grabs this one. He fires to third. Kinsler in a rundown. Simeon's got it. Hendriks goes to cover third. And Liam Hendriks is going to be the guy who ends up putting the tag on Kinsler. Candelario ends up at second base for the second out.
You know, the panic sets in, and you understand when you're out there, the speed of the game. But Matt Chapman got the ball. He started running Kinsler back. And when he threw the ball, it was about 10 feet. You watch right here and just think, great play by Hendriks, but right here, starts running back, keep going. But then when he threw at that point, that gave Candelario a chance to get to second base in scoring position himself as Kinsler is out. But if Chapman had taken a couple more steps, then he would have frozen the runner at first. He'd have gotten Kinsler going to second, and there'd been a runner first instead of a runner in scoring position. Got a nice play by Liam Hendriks to keep the ball from going into center field. Those are the plays the guy's going to work on all spring, but easier said than done to watch it from up here. But you're down there, it's kind of hard maybe to see where the runner is, and you just unload, and in hindsight you start looking at it and say, if I'd run another couple of steps, might have kept the runner at first.
Want to know the count to Miguel Cabrera. Fly ball to right, ground out to short for Cabrera. Now Miguel Cabrera has 462 career home runs. And he has 2,630 career hits. Versus the Athletics, a career .329 hitter.
You have to wonder, though, how much the back tightness affects his lower body when it comes to swinging the bat. And he is a full hitter. And if you remember back in the playoffs when he had, I think it was some hamstring, he had no lower legs and he could not drive the ball to right field. Yet he had a 3-run home run on a fastball inside off Sonny Gray. All he did was just turn the upper body. But if you pitch him away and he's not capable of driving the ball to right field like he normally does, and again, it could be a result of him wanting to play but not having his full body to be able to drive the ball and use his body. Because he uses his legs as well as anybody, and upper body strength is tremendous. But it just seems right now the balls to right field aren't going anywhere when he hits it that way, and it could be a result of the back issue. Still a great hitter, and that's one of the reasons. See, Ichiro at the top of the active. Adrian Beltre got to 3,000. Albert Pujols will get there next year. Carlos Beltran a couple years away. Figure Cano will get there. Victor at the bottom of 2,000. This guy's a first ballot Hall of Famer regardless.
Hit hard to Olson, who scoops it up. Olson to the bag side, retired. 2 runs on 3 hits for the Tigers. We're moving to the 6-7-2 A's lead.
Best fans of baseball, the A's will host Fan Appreciation Weekend September the 22nd to the 24th. That's this weekend coming up during the final weekend home series against the Rangers. From great prizes to seat upgrades and even game-worn jerseys, there are so many ways to win. Visit athletics.com/fall. For tickets, that's athletics.com/FAW. Always watch this man. He is having such a great time getting ready for Fan Appreciation Weekend.
6th inning from Comerica Park here in Detroit. A's leading the Tigers 7-2. So Matt Joyce to lead it off, followed by Lowry and Davis. So it looks like the Tigers have gone to the bullpen.
Hardy's gone.
Alcantara takes over. So when it's time for change, think Speedy, Oil Change, and Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and smog experts.
So it's Victor Alcantara, right?
Yes.
I
think.
It's Raul Alcantara. Well, I know it's got to be Alcantara because Rod Allen came over and says, how does your Alcantara throw? And I said, his name is Alcantara. He says, well, you know, the guy that they're friends.
So go with Alcantara.
Yep, Alcantara.
Matt Joyce has got a couple hits tonight. He's 2 for 3.
It's not Al Albuquerque. We know that.
And that's a 3-hit night for Matt Joyce. Line drive to center field.
Well, that's a fastball down the middle, 0-2. And while the man might throw hard, that is not a very good location on a fastball. Right down the middle. Just fastball, slider, change up. Throws a fastball a lot. Obviously pretty straight at 94. Matt Joyce will take it. Hey, he's playing with a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
He could be sitting out, but he said, I want to play. Got 24 home runs, and where he is started this season, where he is now, he's had an excellent season for the Athletics. He got 24 home runs, ongoing career high for him. Batting average over 240. closer to 250 with 3 hits tonight. And he was well under 200 as recently as mid-June.
That one bounces away. Joyce running pretty good there as he takes off for second. So that's a wild pitch, and the A's have a runner in scoring position. Nobody out. McCann's going to go talk to Victor Alcantara.
Well, the hard slider, and then the ball just kept moving on McCann, but it's the secondary lead. We've seen Matt Joyce get and take the extra base because of the secondary lead, and goes on the ball going into the dirt.
So Lewicki went 2 1/3 innings. Gave up a couple of runs. Low 3-0. Well, Alcantara is the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Tigers. And 3-0 pitch is low, so he walked him. Single and a walk to open up the 6th inning. Lions are playing tonight. Not next door, though. They are playing in New York. So that gentleman, he's got a doubleheader going. Watching Tigers here and keeping an eye on his beloved Lions.
They're probably more concerned about the Lions than here, just in the formality state.
I would say that you're probably right.
I'm just here supporting the Tigers, but only in body.
That one off Alcantara, and Chris Davis is going to beat it out. And let's hope Alcantara is okay. The A's are going to have the bases loaded. So they're going to check on their pitcher, Victor Alcantara.
KD, very hard hit, ball back up the middle. To the right lower leg.
So he gives us the thumbs up, so that's good to know.
Another thumbs up.
All right, double thumbs up. So the bases will be loaded for Matt Olson. Nobody out.
Kinsler reminding Alcantara that he gets a ground ball out off his body, throw to the plate for the force out. Well, just have a season, Matt, in a couple of months.
And the first pitch, a little bit low, not by much. Rookies with 14 home runs in a 20-game span in Major League Baseball history. Olson, McGuire, and York. Rudy York in 1937.
That's a good sinker. You got to think opposite field with that sinker, going down and away.
Olson, a 2-run homer in the 3rd. He has 22 homers and 42 RBIs. Pulled off again.
Yeah.
So a couple of good pitches by Alcantara.
Well, this is a fastball elevated a little bit. Guys ran out of room, so his 11th in the month of September, 4th in 4 games, 1 each. Now with the bases loaded.
And he hits it hard past Mike Aldretti, foul.
And that's what happens. A couple of pitches away, sinking away from the left-hander. He opened up, but the mistake down at him when Alcantara overthrew the ball a little bit.
Joyce at third, Lowry at second, Davis at first. Bounces this one toward first. Navarro's coming home. They get the out there. Back to first. Double play. Kinsler hustled over there, and Kinsler took the throw from the catcher. So that is a 3-2-4 double play. So pretty nicely executed by the Tigers.
Well, the fact that Navarro caught the ball, got out of the way, and heads up by Kinsler, and the fact that he was playing even with the bag or actually on the infield grass, it'd be comparable to him covering on a bunt attempt.
So 2 away now. Here's Healy. Well, you're right about Alcantara. When he throws strikes, he has a lot of movement and a good sinker. Wow.
And really should forget about overthrowing the fastball and rely more on the sinker. Because he gets a double play with the bases loaded, and he's good enough that a ground ball away from getting 2. That's pretty special.
Taps slowly. Candelario throws, and Navarro caught it and tags Healy at just about the same time.
Bob Mel's going to take a look at it and see.
Healy's heading back. This may be a great play by the first baseman.
Yeah. Candelario coming off the bag, and he got him just as he got to the bag, and that's an out. That's a great play. Before, similar with Healy, he missed him twice. Healy reached on an error. This time, though, great play.
So the A's had the bases loaded, nobody out, but they do not score. Bottom of the 6th coming up. Fan Friday is left. It's this Friday against the Texas Rangers. You get a ticket in our value deck, a pair of authentic A's fan sunglasses, and a food and drink voucher. Also, we're highlighting local artists for the 2017 Collector Series cheer cards. For details, log on to NBCSportsCalifornia.com. So, that's Friday night. Fireworks on Saturday. So, busy weekend at the Coliseum. To close up shop a little bit on this 2017 season.
6 more home games starting Friday. And then the great fireworks on Saturday night.
Liam Hendricks back out there. Kind of a light schedule tonight in Major League Baseball. Just 7 games on the schedule, including this one. Yankees leading the Twins 2-1. in the 7th inning at Yankee Stadium. Those are the two wild card teams squaring off. Orioles leading the Red Sox 8-7 in the 6th inning in Baltimore, so that's been a wild one. Base hit, left center field. Castellanos is 2 for 3. So that is hit number 6 for Detroit.
In the case of a fastball, 2-0, hitters count, and instead of the A's with a 5-run lead, Liam Hendriks threw him a good fastball and hit it.
So here's Navarro, who has singled and walked.
Cap, I learned something today from Liam Hendriks about, I said, your shoes seem to be very green. He said, well, that's the way they sent them. Remember we thought, and I know I mentioned when A's were playing the Angels, I heard that one time is 51% of your color, your team colors, could be in your shoes.
Okay.
That's changed.
I take it that's different. All
That's
right.
totally different. I mean, it's kind of strange. Look at Liam Hendriks and see all the whites now that for the Tigers. Players are allowed pretty much to wear what they want. Carlos Santana, when the Indians had their 22-game win streak, there was a shot of him wearing pretty much all white shoes. And he changed shoes, but he stayed with the white ones because they kept winning. But they were all white. So at one time, it was only the A's had white shoes, and now there are a lot of teams. See, that's predominantly green shoes. It's kind of strange to see an A's player in something other than all white shoes.
I bet you'll start to see more guys wear the white shoes.
Exactly.
Because if you think about it, this year, there has been more guys with almost all white.
Exactly. But he said that had changed, because I thought at one time, and he said right now it's up to the clubs if the clubs want the players to wear. You know what Liam said? He said it'd be like soccer, where you have pink and 7 different colors that you can wear in the different soccer. No, let's not go that far. But you normally see the club colors as the predominant color in the shoes, except a lot of teams can go black shoes.
See, I think the A's, though, and grant the A's have always had white shoes. See, to me, their shoes should be all white.
Exactly. I agree. Because they were the original ones since the A's came to Oakland.
Runner goes. Maxwell's throw. And in time. Castellanos has a stolen base, so runner at second. Nobody out here for the Tigers in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, they're trying a couple of stolen bases. High leg kick by Liam Hendriks, and Castellanos head down. And normally you at least look back or think about, well, there's no contact, so he just kept running anyway. Pitch out of the strike zone. No chance for Bruce Maxwell, even though he did throw this time.
So 2-2 the count to Navarro, with McCann, a right-handed hitter, due to hit next. And now it's 3-2. His outfield is straight away for Navarro. Davis backs up. Castellanos tags. Castellanos bluffs, but he's not going. So Navarro is retired for the first down.
Well, that's a big out, because the pitch was inside, and instead of Navarro rolling over to the pitch and hitting the ball to right field like he did in his first at bat, kind of inside out swing. So maybe the sneaky fastball from Liam Hendriks got in enough that he could only hit the ball to left field. That keeps Castellanos at second base, at least for this point.
So here's McCann. A line out and a fly out for James McCann so far. 13 home runs. First pitch on the right field line, but it should be into the seats, and it is. Brewers are leading the Pirates 3-0, bottom of the 8th in Pittsburgh. Milwaukee still hanging around. Don't think they're going to be able to catch the Cubs in the National League Central, but coming into tonight, Milwaukee is just 2.5 games behind the Rockies for the second wild card. Rockies are not playing tonight, so the Brewers still have a shot there. But the Cubs have picked up steam. The Cubs have won 6 in a row. So that's the NL wild card. Again, Rockies not playing tonight. The Brewers are winning. So that looks like that's probably the best shot for Milwaukee. And even that would be tough to catch a pretty good Rockies team. Good slider on 0-2. And that's the second out here in the 6th inning.
That's a great put-away pitch, just enough that it looks like a strike, maybe going out of the strike zone, but that's what you want to see with 2 strikes. Tease him, look good, then him swing at a pitch that ultimately ends up out of the strike zone. And if a hitter doesn't recognize the slider spin and realize it's going to be out of the strike zone, that's a great pitcher's pitch.
Well, here's Mikey Mautuk. Led off the 5th inning with a base hit. First pitch down and in. The Angels do not play tonight. They will host the Cleveland Indians Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If the Indians are going to make a move on the Twins in that wild card, it's not going to be easy. They play Cleveland 3 and then at Houston next or this week. So Indians and the Astros this week for the Angels, so they will have to be at their best.
And the thing about the Astros, and we've talked about it, they're still in for home field advantage.
Sure.
So it's not like they're just going to fold up the tent and get ready for postseason. Still a lot to play for. And they know the Tribe's playing extremely well.
Bounced over the mound. Simeon's throw to first is not in time. Olsen knocks it down, scrambles after it to keep Castellanos at third. So Mautuk with the base hit.
Nice play by Marcus Semien to keep the ball from going into center field over the head of Hendricks. Looked like it was heading in, and not much of a chance to throw out the runner. But also for Matt Olson, that was a good job keeping the ball close, because Castellanos rounding third base. That ball gets away farther from Olson. Run's going to be able to score.
So Scott Emerson's going to chat with Hendricks. So this becomes an important out to get. It's Jacoby Jones.
It's pretty nice. A pitching coach goes out to talk to the pitcher, and as he's talking, says something. The pitcher says something that it cracks up the pitching coach, and he gets a little grin.
That's good.
Heads back. So probably said, I got it under control. Head back. See you later.
Well, at least nobody's too nervous about it. Runner goes. Pitch is a strike. Throw to second base. Not in time. Well, the Tigers with another stolen base. So they have 3 stolen bases in this game. So maybe they see something they're going to try to take advantage of.
And I
So
think
even down in the game, Ray, they're running.
Well, and that may be their future, too. That may be something that they're taking a page out of the Angels' book. The Angels never stop running whenever they're behind in a game. And plus, you know, Liam Hendricks and a lot of relievers don't have quick moves to the plate anyway. And he lifted his leg just enough, and like Castellanos, Matt Hook able to take off and steal second easily. Takes away the double play. You don't need to worry about that. The A's have the two, but they're trying to get two guys in the scoring position, which they now have.
That Joyce backs up. He's got plenty of room. He waits. He's got it. Side retired. Two runners stranded for the Tigers. 7th inning coming up. A's still leading it 7-2.
Next season, fans can vote for up to 50 Oakland Athletics from a list of the all-time A's greats. Voting is open now at athletics.com/50. That's 50. And will be active until the end of the 2017 regular season. The Oakland Athletics 50th anniversary team will be honored at events during the 2018 season. They're voting right now. On the phone, calling in their votes, or just having a good time at the Tigers-A's game.
Alcantara back out there. He'll face Pinder, Chapman, and Maxwell here in the 7th inning. The A's leading 7-2. A's looking for a winning road trip. They're 3-3 on the trip. You know what else the A's are looking for, Ray, is a winning month. The A's are 8-8 in September.
Wow, that's great incentive. That's great. I never thought about that, but you're right. Combine a winning road trip, a winning month. Finish the season strongly, go into the off season, say, bring it on. What's that? Somebody keeping scoring.
He's not had a winning month this season, and it's been a while.
Well, at one time, the A's were having a winning month every year. I mean, every month of the year. But that has changed a little bit, but good time to get started again.
So 1-2 to Chad Pinder, who's 1 for 3. He had an RBI double in the 3rd. Oh, hit him in the helmet. So a very scary moment for Chad Pinder.
Brian Showman, one of the athletic trainers, man, he sprinted from the end of the dugout. And Bob Melvin, of course, out very quickly himself. Well, it was a slider, and not that that makes any difference considering this young man throws a slider hard. This ball just didn't break.
So Pinder's going to walk down to first base slowly. Kind of toward the back of the helmet.
Got hit in the helmet. The bat hit the ground hard. But they're always concerned, which is good. I mean, we talk about catchers getting hit, but boy, just the same way. And always scary.
So he's going to stay in the game, and here's Matt Chapman. Chapman is 0 for 2. He walked in the 5th. Chapman was 1 for 7 in the series in Philadelphia. Oh, was that one foul? Some young man after your own heart, Ray. He's got a catcher's mitt.
Got a baseball.
You don't see a whole lot of kids that age with a catcher's mitt.
That's right. Smart young man, too. You know, if he's got a catcher's mitt, he's an intelligent young man.
Oh, no question. Smarter than most. His knees are already bent, Ray.
He's ready to go. See the gentleman behind him with a cell phone. He got no chance to get a foul ball. He sees more attention with the phone. Maybe checking out the Lions score.
So Kinsler grabs the pop-up. Chapman is retired. 1 out here in the 7th inning.
See, Kinsler that time, remember against Houston last year, he let the ball drop. And they got to force a second. This time, though, you got speed at first in Pinder, but also Chapman, who hit the ball, has speed. So Kinsler said, let's just leave Chad Pinder there.
Well, Kinsler's always been pretty crafty around the bag.
Exactly. He's also been a great hitter.
Yep.
Leadoff hitter for the Rangers for many years. Hit a lot of leadoff home runs. And maybe that park a little bit different dimensions and the ball carrying a little bit better here where he now plays his home games.
Left center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Pinder around second. He'll make it to third easily. And Bruce Maxwell gets his second hit. The A's now with 12 hits in the game.
A's have had a few opportunities tonight with the runner at third and less than 2 outs. Successful some, mostly not. And this is why you go first to third right here, because this ball left center. Watch what the center fielder does. He immediately throws to second base. No attempt whatsoever to get Pinder, who aggressively goes to third base. And as we saw earlier with Simeon going to third on Joyce's base hit, get a sac fly, get a run in. Simeon will try to do the same thing now.
Strike call, DeMarcus. 2 for 3, 2 singles, hit by a pitch, 3 runs scored for Simeon.
If you talk about all the home runs that have been hit throughout Major League Baseball, but that one part of the game right there, first to third on a base hit, is probably going to be more worthy of scoring a run than waiting around for a home run.
Yeah, that's true. No question.
And that's why if you can be a good base runner, base stealer, yes, but a base runner, and you don't have to steal a lot of bases if you can be aggressive, take the chance, and maybe Pinder, being an outfielder himself, knows that the important throw is to get the ball back in the second to keep the double play in order. So they're giving you third base and hoping to get a ground ball.
Yeah, maybe going first to third is even more valuable than a stolen base.
Absolutely.
Because, and I'm talking about a steal of second, because you're ending up at third when you go first.
Exactly. You're getting 2 instead of 1 on a stolen base. You're right. I mean, you get in score position, but you get to third less than 2 outs, where fly ball and out can actually get you a run.
So 1 and 2 to Marcus.
I think from the fan standpoint, we talk about running from home to first, but just taking the extra base and being aggressive on the base pass, that's exciting for fans.
Alcantara about to throw his 30th pitch. Here it is, and it's inside. It was another off-speed pitch.
Marcus got hit already on his left hand. He definitely doesn't want the right hand hit. One that he had surgery on earlier in the season.
2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. Alcantara gets an important strikeout.
Well, there's a sinker right in the middle of the plate at 91. Great movement. No contact.
So 2 away for Matt Joyce. Matt Joyce is 3 for 4. 3 singles and a run score. Hits this one high and foul. Well, last year the Tigers had Cameron Maybin, who we've seen quite a bit this year. Tigers traded Maybin to the Angels in the offseason. And they acquired Victor Alcantara. Of course, Maybin now with the Astros. Left side fouls. Alcantara jumps ahead of Joyce 0-2. Jeff Farrell warming up out in the Tigers bullpen out in left field. Pinder at third, Maxwell at first. In the dirt. Alcantara trying to get through his second inning of work. He's had a whole bunch of base runners. Remember, last inning, the A's had the bases loaded and nobody out against him, and he was able to get out of it.
And the A's have had base runners except for the second inning, which they went 1-2-3, but have only scored in 3 innings. And that's the difference to the ball club, to be able to add on. 1 in the first 4 in the third, 2 in the second. Nothing since then.
Joyce looking for his 4th hit. This one right back to Alcantara. On to first, side retired, so the A's cannot get Pinder home. We've reached a 7th inning stretch from Comerica Park. 7-2, A's lead the Tigers.
Sports California is brought to you by the 2017 Jeep Cherokee with an EPA estimated 30 highway miles per gallon. By Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. By Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. By AAA, get a free canvas backpack. Restrictions apply. Go to AAA.com/roadtrip or to a AAA branch for details. By the all-new 2017 Chrysler Pacifica. and by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
So bottom of the 7th inning with the A's leading 7-2. The attendance tonight, 23,895. That's tickets sold. I don't know that there's that many folks
You've ever
in the
heard
building.
that before? That's amazing. Very rarely do we ever hear that tickets sold tonight, and that's not attendance. They say tickets sold, which is essentially it's what it is. You could.
That's the announcement that is made.
You can sell 30,000 tickets and 20 people show up. You're still going to announce 30,000.
Money in the bank.
Thank you very much.
So Santiago Casilla comes in here in the bottom of the 7th. Iglesias, Kinsler, Candelario.
This is a big inning for the A's. And Casilla. Skipper trying to get him in some meaningful games and appearances. And while at the beginning he was a closer, but right now he's been coming in the 6th and 7th. But it'd be nice if he could have a clean inning.
1-1 the count, and we mentioned that in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
With Santiago Casilla, he just does not have a lot of clean innings.
No. And he needs to have them, because right now the A's trying to go to Hatcher, maybe even trying to finish out the game, but this is a big inning because it had started out a bullpen game. Fortunately, Alcantara went as deep as he did, pitching to the 4th inning.
Iglesias has grounded out, and he has lined out. And a 1-2 breaking ball, foul tip, hung on by Maxwell, 1 away.
That was a hanger. Got away with a hanger, and it worked out. Got under it, left it up. Might have been in the upper part of the strike zone anyway, but no contact by Iglesias.
So now to the top of the order in Kinsler. Kinsler had an RBI double in the 5th inning. Goes after the first pitch and rolls it foul. Kinsler's RBI in the 5th, his 45th of the year, and he launches this one to left field. Davis watching that one into the bullpen, and that's a home run for Ian Kinsler.
So much for the clean inning.
So Kinsler's 19th home run of the year. Now it's 7-3.
And kind of where that ball landed before the fence was put up, that's a double. But it's a high fastball. He looked for it. He got it. He crushed it. And I think he had a pretty good idea it was going. Sounded great off the bat. Look at the distance. And just over the DMC sign is Casilla. See, that's a high fastball straight. And that's why Casilla he's got a good sinker, and if he could just get the sinker down in the strike zone on the corner. He does throw hard, but sometimes the velocity of a fastball without good location isn't a positive for a pitcher.
That's the 8th home run that Casilla has allowed this year, and here's Candelario. Miguel Cabrera is in the on-deck circle. There's a strike, 1-1 the count. Olsen grabs it. He'll take it himself. And that's the 2nd out. So just the way you like to face Miguel Cabrera, with 2 outs and the bases empty. Cabrera so far 0 for 3. First pitch, rolled foul down the third base line. Cabrera now 34 years old. He was a youngster when he got to the big leagues with the Florida Marlins.
Yeah, we were just down there and saw the big signs outside the press box area with Miguel as a young man.
Yep. Breaking ball snaps in there for a strike.
Marlins won in '97 under Jim Leland. There's Hatch to the right-hander getting loose. Like trying to run behind him with his jacket looking on.
Now Cabrera, his rookie year was 2003. He played in 87 games and won a World Series. He hit a home run in that 2003 World Series.
The improbable winning.
So Cabrera strikes out. Santiago Casilla, a couple of strikeouts, gives up the home run to Kinsler. And we are moving to the 8th. 7-3, A's lead.
Park is here. Join us as we enter this exciting phase together and in building Oakland, the ballpark it deserves. The beginning of a robust community dialogue begins with you, and we encourage you to go to oaklandballpark.com to join in our journey. It should be a fun time. oaklandballpark.com. Get on board, give your opinions, and let's see what can happen with a new ballpark in Oakland.
7-3, A's lead the Tigers. It is the top of the 8th inning. New pitcher is Jeff Farrell, right-hander. First pitch is down and away to Jed Lowry. So Jeff Farrell comes in. He is pitcher number 4 for the Tigers, just his 11th appearance. Giving up 16 hits in 8 2/3 innings. 6'4", 205 pounds. He's 26 years old. And that's a strike on the outside corner. Tiger fan, A's fan, it seems like they're doing okay. Getting along. Close pitch, 3-1.
Looks like Farrell's basically a four-seam fastball with a changeup. So 2 primary pitches. And if you can get away with those two, especially throw mid-90s with a fastball, changeup is good to do that.
A hopper right to Kinsler. So Lowry is retired for the first time. I know he did have a sacrifice fly, so I guess he was retired, but he knocked in a run with that. 3 RBIs tonight for Lowry, not that time. So here's Chris Davis. Chris Davis is 2 for 4. Yankees still leading the Twins 2-1, bottom of the 8th inning in New York. Red Sox and Orioles tied 8-8 in the 8th at Camden Yards. Castellanos broke back just a little bit. Now he comes hustling in to make the catch. So Davis now 2 for 5. And here's Matt Olson. So the Brewers won that game against the Pirates 3-0. So Milwaukee 2 games back of the Rockies for the second wild card spot in the National League. Brewers 3.5 behind the Cubs in the National League Central. Brewers and the Cubs do still play a 4-game series in Milwaukee soon. Olsen takes a strike, 94 miles an hour.
And they are probably looking forward to that series.
Well,
if they can stay close to make it worthwhile.
You got to get to probably 2 back. We're trying to win 3 out of 4, but the Cubbies are playing great right now. So that postseason in all-around baseball starting to take shape. Certainly looks like the Red Sox and the Yankees are both going to be in. The Indians in, the Astros in.
Dodgers and like a couple of wild cards. Well, at least the Diamondbacks had a pretty good lead in the wild card.
Yeah, Diamondbacks are going to get that #1 wild card. Cubs trying to hang on. The Nationals and the Dodgers in. So I don't know. Maybe we say this going into every postseason. But you look at the teams that are in it. There's a chance to be pretty entertaining postseason.
Yeah, sure.
Think about the Indians and the Astros both having great seasons. You can never count out the Red Sox. I think the Yankees like their chances.
Yeah.
Pitch is high. So Olsen walks for the second time.
Well, it's pretty interesting. I think that clubs are saying, the Astros, well, you got to go through the big boys. That'd be the Cleveland club, because they were there. They were there last year and won game, really, went extra innings in Game 7. So they played beyond 7-game World Series. So they have the experience, and look what the Royals did for 14-15, losing the Giants, winning in the 15. Oh, Jarrell got dressed in one of the stands. You see that? Jarrell Cotton's.
Isn't it true that, shifting gears here, Jarrell Cotton's fiance is from this area, and I believe he lives here, right?
Yeah, he lives there in the off-season. Yeah.
So, he's home.
I just saw somebody was in the stands with his jersey on. I said,
so it wasn't Jarrell.
No. But you're right. But it's I think you're right, because you look at the teams. There's some good teams.
There's some good teams.
And the whole thing about that division series, I still say, I mean, they're starting the season next year on the 29th. Man, I think there's got to be a way, maybe give up some off days to have a 7-game division series.
Yeah.
Because so somebody's going to be very, very disappointed. Matter of fact, there's going to be a few teams disappointed to win as much as they've won during the regular season and get into the division series and maybe be going home. And they found out the American League wild card is Tuesday, the National League Wednesday. The division series starts in the American League on Thursday and starts on Friday in the National League.
Gotcha.
So there's. Oh gosh.
Oh man. It hit the pitcher in the head. The ball rolls down to the tarp. Healy's going to stop at first. And he's going immediately in.
Wow.
Boy, Jeff Farrell, let's say our prayers for Jeff Farrell. He did not fall down. He kind of staggered. Looks like he was going toward the dugout, and then he stopped. They came out to get him, but it looked like it hit him right in the head. So complete silence here at the ballpark for very good reason. Even Ryan Healy's probably shaken up. How could you not be? Right in the back of the head. So you could see he turned his head. So we'll have a pitching change here at the ballpark. So the new pitcher is going to get obviously as much time as he needs. So we'll step aside as the pitcher gets his warm-up tosses in, and we'll keep our fingers crossed for Jeff Farrell.
presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So back here at Comerica Park, the new pitcher is Joe Jimenez as he takes over for Jeff Farrell. Jeff Farrell hit in the back of the head on the line drive by Ryan Healy. So let's hope that Farrell's okay. He went immediately into the dugout and down into the clubhouse. So here is Jimenez, who had as much time as he needs to warm up. He has finished his warm-ups. Not great numbers for Joe Jimenez, but he is one of the Tigers' top prospects. He's only 22 years old. He's had terrific seasons in the minor leagues as a reliever. So he comes in with 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the 8th inning. First pitch to Chad Pinder. He's a little high.
It's unfortunate. We're told that the exit velocities they have now is 103 miles per hour. You got to think about it. I mean,
yeah.
I remember Sandy Alomar and when
hit hard to left center field, and nobody's going to get it. It bounces up over the wall on one hop. Olson's going to come in to score. Healy's going to have to stay at third. It's an RBI double for Pinder to make it 8-3. So a couple of RBIs tonight for Chad Pinder.
Fastball, actually, slider that stayed up at 83, and Pinder, who's gone to right center, this time to left center, and I think there's a lot of people surprised at the power that Chad Pinder has when he makes solid contact.
So a couple of doubles tonight for Chad Pinder. He's now got 15 doubles on the year to go with his 15 home runs. So that'll bring up Matt Chapman. So 8 runs on 14 hits for the A's tonight. And a quick 0-2 to Chapman. Chapman's 0 for 3 with a walk. Jimenez gets his sign. Pinder at second. And Healy over at third. Very high left center field. Jones, warning track, one step onto the warning track, and he makes the catch. Side retired. A run on 2 hits and a walk for the A's. Bottom of the 8th coming up. Game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 8-14-0 for the A's, 3-8-1 for the Tigers. Well, Alcantara, who took over for Gerald Cotton, got warmed up in the bullpen, or out in the outfield before the game, but a right groin strain. Could not start. Alcantara did, and he did a good job. Matt Olson with another home run. Joyce with 3 hits. Jed Lowry with 3 RBIs. So the A's offense humming along tonight as they lead 8-3 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. So Chris Hatcher, the new pitcher, he is pitcher number 5 for the Athletics. Alcantara, Castro, Hendricks, Casilla, and now Hatcher. So he'll face Nicholas Castellanos. Castellanos has a single and a double and a ground out. He's 2 for 3. First pitch curve, first strike. Castellanos 23 home runs. Having a very fine season. Kind of putting it all together offensively. His 4th year as everyday player for the Tigers. $18 home runs last year, 15 home runs the year before. Able to hold up? Yes, he did. 1-2 the count. Efren Navarro will be next, and then James McCann here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Another hit, line drive to left center field. Castellanos, 3 line drive hits tonight, 2 singles and a double. So here's Navarro.
Fastball right there, and it's amazing how pitchers get ahead, but maybe trying to go for the corner, end up leaving the ball in the middle of the plate, and the result is usually that hard hit ball.
Navarro has a single, a walk, and a fly ball to left field. First pitch down and away. And Navarro, we saw him with the Angels last year, did we not? Right?
Yes, we did. Yep. Played well for them, but they always seem to find a home if they're good enough, and he is.
Twins are down to their final at bat at Yankee Stadium, trailing 2-1, top of the 9th. Aroldis Chapman. Chapman actually came into the 8th inning of that game and got the final 2 outs. Long run for Chris Davis, hustling toward the line. Davis, backhanded play, nicely done, 1 out.
I think Chris Davis does a very good job. It gets great jumps on balls, and you think not going to get there with the ball slicing. Next thing you know, he's there making a nice play. Chris with the jump to his right, got to it easily. Gets the ball back in. Castellanos has to get back to first base.
So that'll bring up McCann. Red Sox and the Orioles still tied 8-8, bottom of the 8th in Baltimore. Matt Joyce in and over. 2 away. Well, the Orioles had a nice little run where they were knocking on the door. But then the last 10 days or so, they have really struggled, and they're pretty much out of it now.
It's amazing. You fall behind, and you have to sustain such a long winning streak. That's what was remarkable about the Rockies in 07. When they just kept winning. And you think, well, they're never going to do it, but they just kept winning and winning and blew everybody out of the water until they got to the World Series. Had too much time off.
Such a delicate thing. You want to be playing well late, but is it a guarantee? No.
Yep.
I don't think anybody will remember the Dodgers lost, what, 14 out of 15? I don't think anybody's going to remember that 3 weeks from now.
And they'll probably be saying they're the best thing they could have done to lose that many.
And it may be true.
Yeah. Just to get the feeling of, oops, maybe this is not a cakewalk for us. I mean, you think of the Tigers in '84, they went wire to wire, 35-5 to start the season. Started in the first place. Cincinnati in '90 under Lou Piniella, same thing. It's not easy to do. And you just hope if you have a great regular season that you continue in the postseason. And that doesn't always happen. You might get cold at the wrong time, and everybody forgets about what you did in the regular season, no matter how many you won. In 1954, when the Indians won 111 games, and then were swept by the Giants in the World Series. There was a writer in Boston. I was talking to him on the final day. And he had done some research, and he said everybody said the Indians had never lost 4 in a row in that season. Huh. But they had. He found out that they had.
Really?
Yeah. But, it was a great story, but he said it wasn't true. Because he researched it, and the guy said, that's all you have to do is research. He said, well, it was part of a project he was on, and he researched it and found out that he had lost.
It would take 10 minutes to research that, right?
Yeah. But I guess the story had gone, well, that was the first, it sounded great.
Sure.
So to win 111, you finally lose 4 in a row, and it's in the World Series.
Pitch is a little bit low. 2 on, 2 out.
But there's a perfect example. You have a season that you win that many games, and that was not a 162-game schedule. It was 154. And you lose that few games, and you get the World Series, and you're swept. And now you have a great regular season, and assuming you can win the division, you got to win 11 games.
Sure.
You got to win 11 of 19 to be a world champion.
You're going to tell me that with what the Dodgers have done this year, where they have this great record, that if they don't win the World Series, it's not going to be a major disappointment? You can tell me if the Indians don't win the World Series after what they've done this year in the regular season, it's not going to be a major disappointment?
Even the Astros.
Yes.
I mean, there are a few teams.
That's right.
The Mariners won 116 and didn't get to the World Series. But no, it's we've even seen where a guy is hot in one series, like Daniel Murphy. Hot in the division, hot in the league, horrible in the World Series. Well, it can happen that quickly where you just get cold, or maybe they figure out this is how we're going to pitch him based on the success he had in the division and league championship series. But it's the Warriors, when they set the record for the most wins, and if they don't win the NBA championship, same thing.
No question. So there's a nice chuckle when you hear people say, and it's fans. I should point that out. They say, well, it's our year. Well, what does that mean?
Exactly.
So if 3 teams are saying that, well, you do flip a coin?
Yeah.
There's no such thing as it's our year.
No, not until you're in the World Series, you got the trophy, and you're having the parade. But it's a lot of pressure on a team when someone says at the beginning of the season, oh, this is great. See you at the parade. We'll be at the parade.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
So 1-2 the count to Jacoby Jones. Hatcher trying to get out of a little jam here in the bottom of the 8th.
I remember the Mariners this offseason, the president said, it's time. We're going to win the World Series this year. And they may not even make postseason.
And a swing and a miss. So Hatcher does get out of the jam, gives up a hit and a walk, nothing else. We've reached the 9th inning in Detroit. 8-3 A's lead. Make sure you join us tomorrow to be game 2 of this 3-game series. Daniel Gossett and Chad Bell. Bell's a lefty. Daniel Gossett looking for his 5th win of the year. Our coverage begins at 3 p.m. with A's pregame live. You can now stream the A's on the go with NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app. So that'll be game 2 of the series. Day game on Wednesday. We'll see that on the MLB Network, or you can listen to Ken, Vince, and Ray on 95.7 The Game. And then we head home. Off day on Thursday. Jairo Laborte is the new pitcher. 6th pitcher of the night for the Tigers, big left-hander. Heads up.
Not only does Farrell have to leave the game, and we do hope he's okay, but he leaves after giving up a run because of Jimenez coming in and giving up the Pinder double. Laborte, 5th game, and so a lot of pitchers up in September for Brad Ausmus.
Just missed 3-0. And there's a strike to Maxwell. Maxwell's got a couple of hits tonight, a single in the 4th and a single in the 7th. He has scored a run. And there's a walk. Walk number 6 by Tigers pitchers. Like Trinan throwing for the A's. So here's the top of the order. Marcus Semien for his 6th at bat. First pitch is a strike. Yankees beat the Twins 2-1.
Wow.
Aaron Judge with his 44th home run in the very first inning. Twins tied it in the 5th. Yankees got a run in the bottom of the 6th and held on. Twins had the bases loaded and 1 out in the top of the 8th inning. There's a little action on top of the dugout. It's getting taken. I don't know what was going on there. But the Twins had the bases loaded, 1 out in the 8th inning, and Joe Girardi brought in Chapman, and he got out of it. So a good win for the Yankees. And the Angels, with an off day, they kept a close eye on that one. So the Angels are now just a game and a half behind the Twins for that second wild card. So Angels with a shot. They'll host the Indians tomorrow night at the Big A.
Well, that's got to be good for Ronald Chapman because he was kind of in the doghouse, signed a long-term contract, and they were talking about he'd lost his closer job, and
I think he's got it back.
Guys got it back, yeah. And Joe Girardi had said, you know, he'll get it back. When you think of the closers they have, I mean, they have 3, and that's after trading 2 away. They still have 3. Now they got Chapman back with Betances.
Well, tonight it went Robertson, Betances, and Chapman. So there you go.
And so you got Robertson as a closer, comes back.
Pretty good bullpen.
And Betances, yeah, absolutely.
Pop up to the right side after Navarro reaches up and grabs it. So Marcus Semien is retired. I was listening to folks talk about the Yankees today and about how great their bullpen has been. He's like Chad Green. He's been terrific. So, I mean, their bullpen is pretty loaded up. Sonny Gray's done a decent job. Severino's pitched very well for the Yankees this year.
And Tanaka still has the bad elbow, but still pitching well.
The Red Sox and Orioles still tied 8-8, top of the 9th inning. Yeah, that one all the way to the backstop. So Maxwell will trot down to second base. Another wild pitch.
Well, McCann has been very busy tonight, but this one, no chance. And that's the old ball running away. Turned his glove with the palm towards the outside, and no chance to catch it. But it will go as a wild pitch.
Matt Joyce is 3 for 5 in the game. So Jairo Laporte. That's Michael Brady on the left with Trinan on the right. Trinan's been throwing for a while. Laporte has it. Throws back to third, and in a rundown is Maxwell. Tigers are making this more difficult than it should be. And finally, the tag is placed on Maxwell.
Wow.
They got it done, but
I would not try to take that to spring training and work on it.
no,
by,
that's not the video you'd send out.
I mean, check this out. I mean, step on third, flip to second, almost threw the ball in right field. And Iglesias, little flip underhand, get it back to the guy. Maxwell said, "I've had it."
They regrouped a little bit at the end, tightened it up a little bit. We're not laughing at them. We're just
sure we are.
We're enjoying ourselves.
Well, you know, you got the Jim Price next door, and next year the A's will be celebrating the 50th anniversary. That's the 50th anniversary of the '68 World Championship.
Right.
Detroit Tigers. Jim Price is part of that, along with great Al Kaline and some great players of the Tigers, and beating the St. Louis Cardinals.
Very high to left field. I took Waits. He's got it. Side retired. So, bottom of the ninth. The A's trying to win it. They lead it 8-3.
The young man has done it 4 consecutive games. That's hit at least 1 home run, and he did it again tonight on a high fastball to right center. The young man is strong, almost came out of his shoes with that swing, but continues to play extremely well for the Athletics, and the A's have a great future in one Matt Olson.
Well, and you know what, Ray? If Matt Olson was doing this, what he's doing in the last month and a half, maybe on the East Coast, everybody would know who he is.
Look at Sanchez last year. Yeah.
That's right. And Hoskins this year.
Exactly.
Right?
Hoskins in Philadelphia.
And listen, those guys deserve it, but what Matt Olson's doing is every bit as impressive as what those guys were doing. So Trinan comes in, Blake Trinan. As he'll face Iglesias, and then the top of the order, Kinsler. First pitch is a little bit low. So Hatcher, Chris Hatcher with an inning of work, gave up a hit, a walk, had a strikeout. Tapped foul. Iglesias is hitless tonight. It's a jam shot. Looked like it may have hit off his foot. So 1-2 the count. Kinsler and Candelaria will be next. Candelario caught the front of his foot. So very few of the 23,895 are still left in the building. Some will be back tomorrow. Some won't.
We'll be back.
We will be back. We will be in attendance tomorrow. Chapman. What a play. Got him.
That is unbelievable.
Terrific play by Matt Chapman. Nice backhanded play. Threw it on the run across his body all the way across the diamond, and he made it look easy.
And unbelievable the amount of arm strength, the accuracy to be able to throw like that, to the point that Matt Olson actually had to stretch to his right for this one. Normally he catches the ball chest high from Chapman, but what a play on both ends. But Chapman spectacular, unloading quickly with a lot on the throw to get Iglesias, who looked back to see if the foot was on the bag. He was. So Matt Chapman just continues to make the plays at third.
Well, it was a great play, but we're not really that in awe of it because we've seen him do it, and we figured that he would make that
That's
play.
right. I'd be shocked if he didn't.
Kinsler's had a good ball game. He's 2 for 4 with a double, a homer, a couple of RBIs. His home run came in the 7th inning, solo shot, 19th of the year. A few changes in the outfield. So Pinder, Smolinski, and Joyce. And that's Jake Smolinski in center field.
That's his first appearance defensively. Of course, there was some concern because he had shoulder surgery and might not be able to play for a while, but he's been swinging the bat and goes to center field for the first time. So that's good to see.
He's happy to be out there.
Yes. He's going to play some winter baseball. At least he hopes to make up for a lost 5 months.
Rio pitches outside, so Kinsler with a 4-pitch walk. That's the third walk issued by A's pitchers tonight. So here is Jeimer Candelario, 0 for 4. So Candelaria takes the first pitch, and that misses. Candelario has struck out, hit a fly ball to right field, reached on a fielder's choice, and grounded out. Missed again, not close, 2-0. What a great look, huh? They looked right at each other. Yeah, that wouldn't. The sinker drops out of the strike zone. Now it's 3-0.
Yeah, I don't know if Blake trying to control the ball straight. I mean, if he wanted to try to throw a four-seam fastball, I don't know if he could. Four-seam would be straight.
And that one misses inside. So back-to-back walks here in the bottom of the 9th inning. And now Miguel Cabrera will hit with Castellanos to follow. A quick meeting at the mound. 12 pitchers have been used tonight. 12. So here is Cabrera, who is 0 for 4.
I think someone, and people might be saying this is 2, 4, 6 pitchers used by the Athletics. But you know, when your starter can't even take the mound and you get a lead, I think what Bob Melvin's thinking, bringing Trinan in, is saying, let's try to get this win and, you know, worry about tomorrow. But right now, Trinan having a tough time throwing strikes. Great play by Chapman to get the first out, but 8 consecutive out of the strike zone.
First pitch, that one's in first strike. Good sinking fastball to Miguel Cabrera. A couple of ground outs. Fly ball to right, a strikeout for Cabrera.
He didn't hit the ball on the ground to someone. The A's have a chance to end the game with 1 ground ball out to turn 2.
A little bit outside. Kinsler at second, Candelario at first. 1-1 pitch. Hit right off the end of the bat by Cabrera. Rolls behind home plate. So Trinan ahead of the count, 1-2. Trying to get the A's their 67th win of the year. And their 4th win on this road trip. One-two pitch, a line drive, second base, double play, and that's the ball game.
Not quite.
So Lowry grabbed it, flipped it to Simeon, and that's how the ball game ends. So the A's have come to Detroit, and they have taken game 1 of this 3-game series, and lots of offense again. Another home run by Matt Olson, his 22nd of the year. Time of game was 3 hours and 39 minutes in front of 23,895. Game 1 of the series goes to the Athletics as they defeat the Tigers by a final score of 8-3. Time now for